behind the baller. My life is more than money and jewelry. My story's so crazy, dog. I said make a movie behind the baller. I went from playing sports to exotic whips. Ain't gotta tell me, dog. I know I'm the shit behind the baller. My life is more than money and jewelry. My story's so crazy, dog. I said make a movie behind the baller. I went from music exec to this podcast. Now I finally feel at home at last. Behind the baller.
What up, y'all? You are tuned in to Behind the Baller. That's my guys right there, Illegal Cartel. You know, and I was wanting some theme music, and now I got it. Yeah, man, episode 23. We here. It's Tuesday night right now. The NBA just started. And before we get into all that, listen, man, we lit for real right now. Like, Behind the Baller podcast is fucking going crazy. Me and the Dust Brothers yesterday, we sat down with a major video production, ad revenue, video monetization, just all kinds of shit. Sat down with, so listen, man, what I'm trying to get at is video of this podcast is coming soon. When? Sooner than I ever thought it would come. But anyways, had a great meeting with these folks of all places. They're in Little Tokyo, right there in the Arts District. I'm down there all the time because one of my favorite restaurants to go to is down there. And so is Riff, Los Angeles. Shout out to Ed and Jeff, my little Filipino pares. Crazy thing, never in a million fucking years did I ever think that, downtown LA would come this far. And, I lived in downtown for a few years, and I loved it down there. My wife was totally opposite of me. I grew up in the streets, though, and she just doesn't, that's just one thing we just don't see. There's a few things we don't see eye to, but she really just can't stand the condo life downtown. She just don't like it. I love that. I love smelling the streets down there and everything. I don't know, man. It just gives me that city feeling. I grew up just west of there in Koreatown. But what I'm trying to say again is, so Jay-Z, LeBron, Big Sean, my boy Jay Brown, they bought and opened up a private whiskey bar. The place has a unique feel to it. It's not super modern, or it's not modern at all, really. And it has a vintage feel. Feels like a whiskey bar. Feels like a little cooler version of it. They play vinyl. There's like a wall of records on there, vinyl records, and it's just dope. It is fly spot. I seen the Hibiki in there, the Nika, Yamazaki, and all that good shit. I'm sure they have Macallan and all those stuff. Single barrel, single malt. I'm sorry. Anyways, going on. They also opened up a restaurant next door. I forgot what the fuck it's called. It's an Italian restaurant. But listen, man, we got video coming. I don't know. Like, me personally, I don't give a fuck. People do want to see it, and it's cool. Like right now, I'm in some fucking boxer shorts and a motherfucking t-shirt. Like, I don't think people want to see me wearing this shit. But you will see me in a white tee. Anyways, listen, it's Tuesday night. It is 10:17 p.m. And I just watched the fucking first game of the NBA season. Lakers versus Clippers. You know what, man? Listen, man. I just got to keep it 100. When people come and hit it out the park, especially when you get into a certain level of where we are in the game. Jason of Beverly Hills is another jeweler. He's actually an ally, he's a comrade of mine. There's friendly competition, but it is what it is. He, to me now, seems to be the guy to go to for the championship rings. And I won't get into specifics, but not the most recent Warriors ring, but the ring before that, I'll give it to him. That ring was motherfucking lit. Laker rings were okay. I would expect something for the fucking Lakers, man. Come on, this is our team. You know what I'm saying? And I know you got a relationship with the Bus family, but damn, Jay, I gotta critique you. You know what I mean? You my boy. These Raptor rings were just not it, bro. They just weren't fly. And if I sound like a hater, then I don't give a fuck. I got no bitterness towards Drake. I got bitterness towards anybody. It's just I want to see some dope shit. When it comes out, like, oh shit, that shit was lit. I see a lot of people try really hard to do something, and some people don't try as hard because their creativity is on a different level, and the execution of the creativity is A1. And, people sometimes like, oh, you want to make this. I don't want to make nobody anything. I understand that. If you go into understand, I don't want to make you a chain. And if it does happen, just know it's going to be doper than you ever expected, even if you had high expectations. I'm not ever like, oh, you just want to make this. I don't want to make this guy a chain. I don't want to make Paul George a chain. I don't want to make any of these motherfuckers a chain. Now, back to the fucking, to the first game, because I was watching the fucking Raptors game and it was just whatever. And they're just a regular basketball team now. When I say that, I truly mean they're just a regular ass team. They almost lost the Pelicans. And I know people have heard me say, oh, almost, but they didn't. Well, we're talking about a Zion-less fucking Pelican team. I think they're young and dope. I'm just saying, the fucking Raptors, man, come on, man. So off to this Laker-Clipper game. It's a Clipper home game. And I want to know who my boy Eric Costin's fucking publicist is. Well, he's with Nike, so I'm sure Nike took care of his seats, but they had courtside seats. And so did my little homie, my little fucking dong sang, Chloe Kim, Olympic snowboarding champion, gold medalist. So I'm some courtside. I was a little jealous. One, I don't know, my body. I just can't really be physically out like that. I had a very quiet evening tonight at Cheesecake Factory with my family, and it's been a minute since we've gone. And London loves the mac and cheese there, and there's no peanuts and any kind of shit. So did that, came home, watched the game. This game was fucking crazy. The shitty floor seats. When I say shitty, the ones that are behind the basket, but they're on the floor where James Goldstein sits at. Those were 25 bands each. And my business partner, Pat, my other business partner, Mike, we're thinking about going, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Let's wait till we play the motherfucking, till we play the Hornets or someone to fucking, that just don't really matter. Tickets would be like fucking 7-8 G's maybe each. But anyways, I watched the game on my beautiful television. It was very fucking exciting. It was a very emotional game. We looked good early on. Yo, Vogel is a fucking shitty coach, period. Like, oh, you can't go off one game. Nah, bro, I can. Because we need to see some changes, man. KCP should not be playing the fucking entire fourth quarter of the fucking game. All right? And Dudley is in the game way too motherfucking long. We went on a fucking crazy ass run. And then all of a sudden, Vogel wants to fucking switch up the rotation. Like, he wants to do a rotation? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Clippers look cool. I think we beat ourselves tonight. I don't think they were just exceptionally crazy. I mean, they have stars, don't get me wrong. And I know PG's not on the team right now. Or he's not playing right now is what I mean. And why the fuck is Paul George wearing a fucking tux? Anyways, I'm not worried about Paul George, especially in the playoffs. I'm definitely not worried about this dude. But no, the game was fucking crazy. I can't believe it was game one, and this shit was intense. It was a Clipper home game, but there was fucking maybe 2/3. It was Laker crowd. It was just fucking nuts. You already know Lakers run this town. Period. Don't fucking matter. Not that it would ever happen, but the Clippers won like 3 championships or 2 championships. Lakers games will still be more lit. The team will still be worth more as far as the franchise. The floor seats of the Laker games will be more. It is what it is. Period. All right. There's a long fucking season ahead of us. We need to do something. You know what? I'm fucking delirious. I must be delusional. I cheered for LeBron tonight when he had a fucking crazy ass defensive play. Then came down. He had a dope give and go. He had some unbelievable defensive moves tonight. And this is the first time I publicly spoke anything good about this dude. And he had just a crazy ass dunk that forced a timeout. And I fucking cheered. And it just fucked me up. It blew me. I was like, did I really just fucking do that? Holy shit. That was just a fucking weird moment. Yeah, man, this is just fucking crazy. I've been basically spending all my time that I have free finishing up Tyler's piece. It is just fucking beautiful. It is 99% done now. I'm leaving town tomorrow when I get back. Just got a pen rhodium, the bail. Had to switch some colors up. There's always like little small things. You got to redo this, but just the customization, just the execution it's just beautiful. This is just, again, museum quality level pieces. I don't speak about jewelry too much, but I'm going to talk a little bit about some this episode because tomorrow is Jonas's birthday. And for the last 3 days or after the last few weeks, I've been thinking about what I'm going to say. Am I going to say too much? You know what I mean? Like, look, man, we got the memorial to his death. We got the birthday. We got several birthdays coming up. You know, he would have been 42. I think I'm just going to share a few stories. I don't know how much I want to say about it because, you know, there's a lot more to say, and I want to save some for later. Some people have two different mentalities, you know, they're like, hey man, why say fuck that, you know, do this shit now and enjoy it now. And then some people are like, well, nah, you gotta save some for later, you know what I mean? You just do. And I kind of like, I don't know, I just feel it out. I've done both. If I can save, most of the times when I have, especially when I think of like my family's future, it's definitely beneficial of what I've been doing when it comes to saving with them. But like, I don't know. A lot of stories haven't come. I've had an emotional last couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? Been having crazy anxiety. And with all that said, I think I'm going to stay home for a little bit. I'm going to cancel a trip to SF. Got some other shit going on. I got Complex Con going on in fucking a week and some change. So I really just need to take it real chill. I'm shooting a documentary this Friday for Kid Cudi. And Kid Cudi had managed to get 2 of the Murakami collaborations. Again, these are $50,000 each. They're not very big pieces. They're pretty small. The value of these would definitely be double or more. They're just going to increase because of what they are. And they're Takashi Murakami's first collaboration pieces. But anyways, I'm delivering them to Kid Cudi on Friday. And we're going to shoot this thing. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be me. Going to finish Tyler's Chain. This shit is fucking amazing. He hates Complex Con, but yeah, Tyler's just a fucking trip. Oh, speaking of the Murakami collaboration, we are going to leak pics on Friday. So by the time this podcast come out, which will be Thursday, the next day, which means when you're listening to this podcast, tomorrow we'll be leaking the Murakami pics. Should be all over Hypebeast and all the other things. You'll see the collaboration. And again, man, I'm just blessed to be doing this and getting my paper. And Tyler's piece is just, again, museum quality. The shit is just incredible, and I'm just so excited. I got a lot of DMs from you guys about the Jimmy Boy episode, and I appreciate it. I know you guys love that shit. That shit was fucking hilarious. I didn't realize when I was going back to it, I don't really listen to my podcasts. It's hard for me to listen to myself. And you know, another thing too is people are like, yo man, that ain't really your voice. This is really my voice. I'm not changing shit. Why the fuck would I change something for 40 minutes to an hour? You know how painful that'd be? I'm not acting. I'm being me. I think a little bit, not necessarily say I'm soft-spoken because my kids are asleep, you know, 2-3 stories above me, but this is just my normal talking voice, you know. But going back, the DMs were fucking hilarious, and mostly because Jimmy's Vietnamese was so slangy, and it was just fucking hilarious, and it's just funny, you know. I love fucking with Jimmy. Drove to my office today, by the way. I know my jump around game is crazy, right? I jump from one spot to the next, one fucking conversation to the next, one topic to the next. Drove to VVS today. It's been like 7 weeks since I've been to VVS. It's real bad. It's terrible. And that drive to Orange County ain't no motherfucking joke. An hour and a half on a good day. And then, you know, you get fucked up 2.5 hours, no problem. Car accident, shit, 2.5, 3 hours. I can get to Vegas in that time. So yeah, you know, sat down with my business partner Mike, and we had one of the things, and it's crazy because it ties into Jonas. One of Jonas's favorite places to eat back in the day, you know, from like that. I don't know what year that Cali Shabu opened. I can't reference exact years, but up till about 2011, Jonas just loved Cali Shabu Shabu in fucking Costa Mesa. He just loved that fucking place, and I say this often. If Jonas were alive today, I can't imagine where we'd be in life and just where, but you know, if Jonas were alive today and I was with my business partners, Mike and Pat and our whole crew, us combined, it's just game over, man. We'd fuck around and make the 2020 pyramids. Like we'd fuck around and turn this whole place into a different thing. We'd be King Tut on a different level. We'd really be on some Egyptian shit. You know what I mean? We'd be on some king shit for real, for real. Asian rush, Asian power will be on a whole different level. The streets, on a corporate level, on everything. It's just crazy because my partners, Mike and Pat, have built such a fucking empire in this cannabis game. It's nuts. And they've done it so quietly, which is fucking amazing. And it's super loud directly in front of them. But as far as like with me, shit, it's loud across the country, across the earth, right? So like these, if we all got together especially because Pat is like a playboy, like Jonas was too, even though he got real serious with his fiance. And we'll get into all that too later. And not that it's like, I'm not spreading tea or nothing. These are all personal opinions of mine about my best friend in my adult lifehood. But it had just been fucking crazy. It had been a lot of motherfuckers getting divorces, and I don't know if I'd have been married. I don't know what the fuck would happen, but it'd been crazy if we all got them together. And Cali Shabu was a spot for us. So was Anjin. Anjin was a fucking staple in me and Jonas's life. I really didn't go there after he passed. In fact, I don't eat red meat, so it doesn't matter. It's a Japanese barbecue place that kind of mimics Korean barbecue, but I won't lie to you. It's a little bit more finesse, little more. It's dope. It's a legit spot. I won't lie to you. OC has a few spots, definitely, you know what I'm saying, here and there. Javier's, the food is cool. It's good. It's very clean. It's good. It's Mexican food, but the ambiance and the location is what really does it for me over there. And the drinks too, but I don't really drink like that no more. So me and Mike were talking about business, future of VVS and all these other things. And we start talking about being married, having 3 kids. Is he going to have a 4th? I won't get into all that because I don't know if his wife's going to listen to this podcast and start kicking his ass about it. We ain't having no more. I got fixed. I'm not having no motherfucking kids, period. My wife don't want no more either. And with all the shit going on in my life right now, there's just no fucking way. At this point now, I'd be fucked if we did. If we had another one. A blessing and everything, but we're good. Kaya is like, man. But we got to talking about all the shit that me and Mike, my business partner, have done. And Mike's got way more paper than me, right? He's younger than me by like 8 years. 8 years younger than me. And smart dude. Drives like a fucking maniac. Drives as crazy as me, except that it's just different. He at 38, I think I'd still be. It's just an age thing. He don't give a fuck. I think this motherfucker's had 45, 50 tickets, speeding tickets. He's had his license suspended a few times. He a lot of funny shit, but he's very chill. And we just talked about just fucking up and just being dumb and just doing silly shit and past relationships and everything. And just everything, whether it be gambling, all kinds of shit. And he just made a really good point. He said, at a certain point, you got to realize that you just got away with it for so long. Like, just time to bow out right now. You know what I'm saying? Just stop all the foolishness, stop all the bullshit, stop cheating, stop doing anything bad. Not saying that he was or I was. I'm just saying, like, just stop doing anything stupid at this point and just come out ahead. You know what I mean? Like, don't reach your expiration date. You know what I'm saying? On purpose. Like, be good. And with that said, we got a fucking amazing episode ahead of us, man. I got my man Jeff Staple on the show. He runs the Hype Beast Business of Hype podcast. He's just got a successful business. He created the Staple Dunk, the SB Dunk. He's just super shrewd businessman, very humble guy, Chinese. Just by coincidence, that's what happened when we were in New York. I just, got up with some people. By the way, again, I got a shout out to Parker, New York. They just threw me a follow on Instagram, and, they're a 5-star hotel, but they, have a very nostalgic feel right up, little upper midtown Manhattan, right by Central Park. And, they're just a dope ass hotel. But anyways, going back, man, we recorded the episode at the Parker Hotel. Yeah. Jeff Staples on the show. He was a friend of Jonas's. We'll get into that. And, we're going to take a break right now, and I'm going to break down, some of my favorite things that I remember of Jonas. I got to take a break because I got to get some sleep, and I got to get some rest because I'm off to San Jose in the morning to go meet some billionaire. And my financial advisor is, I trust him with everything. This motherfucker's a god. And so listen, man, we're going to take a break. When we come back, some of my favorite Jonas moments on his birthday. He'd have been 42. I miss you like fucking crazy, Jonas. I think about you every single day. Miles, Jordan, hit me with a little Lakey Lake, a little jazz right here, and we'll be right back. Yo, man, mic check 1 2. So we are back, and this just ain't really the easiest thing to talk about. I've talked about it here and there in discussions and stuff. This is going to be archived for my listeners, for anyone. And my body hurts thinking about this. My soul hurts. I almost like it's a drug. And what a perfect and terrible word to describe this entire memoriam of my brother. Jonas Gregory Bevacqua, born October 23rd, 1977. He would have turned 42 today. Raised in Long Beach, California. He had 6 brothers and sisters, all from different ethnic backgrounds. They're all adopted. Jonas was adopted. Jonas was of Vietnamese descent. He started really getting into his Asian background, like when me and him start really fucking with each other. His father, Jersey Joe Bevacqua, his mom, Helen. In fact, Jersey Joe was just a solid dude, like just smart guy, just amazing person. His dad was actually my accountant for a few years, set me up with the Montana Corp. His dad had a quote that Jonas had as his signature in his email, and it said, "If wealth is measured by love, then we are the richest family in the world." I mean, think about a man who adopts 7 kids and like all different races and backgrounds and everything. It's just, you know how fucking awesome a person you have to be. It's just fucking crazy, you know. And LRG, one of the flyest fucking clothing brands ever in history. Jonas always told me, he said, you know what, I want to become the street Polo. I want to be the street Ralph Lauren, you know, and like basically get in between Gap and Ralph Lauren, be that happy medium between those two and just be out there and just really, his vision was crazy. One thing me and him shared, he was a DJ. When I met Jonas, I was already, a big DJ. Met Jonas in 2002 through my boy B Win. It was during the Soundbombing 3 soundtrack. Soundbombing 3, Raucous Records. If you're a real OG hip hop head, you know what Raucous is. And B Win was doing promo for a bunch of things, and somehow, some way, if it wasn't through B, I forgot what the fuck the dude's name was. Asian cat, and I got the jacket, and I was like, yo, this fucking jacket is sick as fuck. It was a varsity jacket with the chenille. It was LRG made it. Soundbombing 3. And, I was like, yo, who the fuck runs this company? Boom. And I'd heard, it was like a little, just like people at LRG, so there was a real big folklore of Ben Baller at the company. There was a little lingering folklore, in the community of people who knew what time it was. And there wasn't a lot of people that were doing it back then that were Asian, you know what I'm saying? And there was the Crooks guys that were doing a different thing, and there was just a couple people. There was B Win doing things. There was me, and everyone was kind of spread out, but really wasn't that many Asian people. You see a lot now, and you see them out and about, and there's tattoos and this and that. None of that shit existed back then. I'll be real with you, man. It was real taboo and weird for me to have tattoos and stuff. But going on, Jonas, from what he told me, he had started LRG with his boy Robert Wright, his friend, and another guy named Charlie was an investor, and about $25,000. Shit started in the backyard, like literally. I mean, within years of this company starting, this fucking company became a Fortune 500 company. It was fucking insane. And Jonas used to valet park cars. He was a valet parker. Jonas used to live in a trailer house, a fucking trailer park, like no joke. And I thought of a million things I could say, a bunch of things, some of the shit. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? Some of the stuff is just not for the public to hear. I'll just shed a few good memories that I have. And he changed my life forever. I think when me and him got together, we just got so strong that it just, people got scared, and it was like I said, man, it was Asian empowerment to the next fucking level. I met Jonas around 2005. Again, we connected for real this time. And then Jonas was in a music video for Khalees, and Khalees wanted him to be in the video, and she's considered like a, a dope ass chick, and people fuck with her. Just like, it needs to be, obviously, fucking, she was signed to the Neptunes. She was married to Nas. She was always fucking with someone dope, and she had a lot of flavor. And she had a song called Bossy, and Bossy was a big song, and she ended up putting Jonas in the video. and Jonas is in the video rocking the gold chains and everything. And like after this Envy Expo that DJ Ski had going on, in fact, that was the first time Kendrick Lamar had ever performed in front of a crowd. That is a Forrest Gump moment on the Behind the Baller podcast. First time Kendrick Lamar ever performed. At that time, J-Rock was the dude who was, representing TDE real big. Kendrick wasn't out there like that, and it was just crazy how this shit all came into fruition. But after the Envy Expo, things just started moving fast and quick. LRG was blowing up. They were killing it. They were inside, like I said, Fortune magazine. They're, Orange County. Jonas loved being from Orange County. He loved being over there. He just felt like he always said, "Hey, listen, man, I never have to look over my shoulder. I'm just good over here." And I never really loved Orange County, even though I have so much affiliation with it. I'm just not really like, it's never been something I could stay at. And when I was doing marketing for LRG, Jonas got me an apartment at the Irvine Spectrum right across because it was just close. And I would be over there so fucking much. And I was tired of fucking sleeping on his couch or sleeping in his ex bedroom, sleeping in his son's bedroom or whatever it may fucking be. Jonas had a condo, like a townhome condo in a gated area in Aliso Viejo. And I can't tell you right now, just think, I have not brought this up, the memories, just thinking about it fucks me up so bad. We would get so lit in this fucking place and come out there, and it was just like, it was fucking Orange County. It's like way the fuck out of nowhere. It's hella quiet. He would fucking love going to Del Taco, the drive-thru, and Del Taco corporate was right down the street from LRG's office, and they used to give us gift cards and shit. And he would go to Del Taco and get these turkey tacos, the hard shell ones, and he'd 10 of them and just fuck 10 up like nothing, like you never fucking seen before in your life. Jonas was in fucking amazing shape. There was a gym at LRG. He would ride a bicycle sometimes 20 fucking miles. Now the thing in Orange County is 20 miles away in Orange County on the 73 highway, you could get to fucking work in 15 minutes. It's nothing. It's just so much easier. You could get around that Orange County pretty easy. Now it's fucked up. But back then you could get around no problem and smash through Laguna. I mean, it'd feel like a long drive here and there, but it's 10, 15 minutes you can get anywhere. Kind of like how LA was back in the early 90s. You can get to downtown LA to fucking Beverly Hills, 10 minutes. Fucking downtown LA to fucking Studio City, 10 minutes. It just was crazy. Just traffic was. But Jonas was semi-car dude. He fucked with Benz and Beamers. He wasn't super into exotics yet. His partners had Lamborghinis. Rob had a Gallardo, or Gallardo. I'd say Gallardo. But Brian Wilson, head of sales, he had a Gallardo. Yeah, people were eating. Jonas put people. He. One thing I'll say this: when I first started coming around it heavy for real, I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. This is my perception and this is what's real. Energy doesn't lie. The energy was cool, but at the same time, people were like, yo, man, this dude's real brash. He's super fucking braggadocious. He's just real powerful with the personality. He's just blurts out things. He's just a loud person, boom. And, they're intimidated by me. But the end results were, I helped take LRG to a whole different level, Before me, Kanye West was the poster child for LRG. He was like the spokesperson kind of in a way. He was, and as Ye was rocking it and shit, and Ye and Jonas had a relationship separately that was dope with each other, and they fuck with each other heavy. Shout out to Woody White too, Chi-Town in the house. Woody's kind of like indirectly part of Ye's camp and was always cool with them. And Jonas was just he touched a lot of people. A lot of people fuck with Jonas. It didn't matter what color you were. People fuck with Jonas, man. Jonas was so ahead of his time. It was crazy. Jonas was rocking Goyard in 05. Motherfuckers just found out about that shit in like 2012, 13, 14, whatever it was. And he was fucking super heavy in the Balenciaga like in 06, 07. Motherfuckers is on the shit 10 years later. And he just was super into design. And he just had fucking, his shit was so fucking crazy. It was, after he passed away, I'm sorry to say it, man, the legacy stayed on, but the designs and the company just couldn't be the same. And, fuck, man, it's crazy. Jonas he did some fresh ass collaboration. He did a fucking vacuum collaboration with fucking Dyson. We just always changed the game. And every year at the Magic Convention, which is the biggest clothing trade show in the world, You know, we'd go there and it'd be like the fucking Academy Awards for me and him. We'd figure out what outfit would be the most fucking obnoxious, come out with fucking 10, 20 chains, and just go out there and just shit. Just really walk the show. Walking the show was walking the red carpet of the fucking Academy Awards or the Grammys. It was crazy. We owned that fucking show, you know, me and him. And like, it was crazy. Diddy would come through. Any celebrity that was big, that they would come back and pay respect, show fuck, what's up? You know, at one point, Diddy wanted to buy LRG when Sean John was crushing. And they're like, yo, man, it's all love. But you know what, man? The number you had was way too low. And then when he found out what LRG was really worth, it, you know, he was like, whoa, shit, this is crazy. But, you know, legendary moments in Vegas. You know, I think of a lot of times that me and Jonas were in Vegas. Jonas liked to party. It's not a mystery. It's nothing I'm going to glorify, but he did. And we had fun. You know, we were young. Fuck it. He was even younger. He was earning. He was doing his thing. So, you know, fuck it. I remember LA Confidential magazine. It's like a dope ass fashion magazine. It's real big. It's like a, you know, oversized magazine. It was like always in the cool spots. It could be in a cool hotel, be in the W when W wasn't so like, not, I wouldn't say middle America, but it was like just W was a little more, it was a little more boutique-ish. You know, it wasn't like an SPG, like corporate hotel necessarily yet. It was like considered really fucking cool in 06, 07, 08, you know, and you'd see LA Confidential magazine in any of the hair salons and places like that and everything. And they did a special on who the coolest people were at that time, and Paris Hilton was in there, whatever. And then they had Jonas in there, and he's rocking a fucking wife beater, and he has his chains, he has his bracelets on, and boom. And they put like these little, like, back then there was no really emojis, but they were like kind of like emojis like describing who you were, you know what I mean? And like they had Heartbreaker, they put Blackberry, they put, by the way, Jonas fucking loved Blackberry. This motherfucker was a BBM fucking king. If you guys know what BBM is, if you don't, then fuck you and go ask somebody, because I'm not going to tell you. But they put Heartbreaker, and they put the dollar sign because he was fucking obviously rich as fuck. And I gave all Jonas's jewelry at cost. Wouldn't make any money on it. And the crazy thing is, if you gathered all Jonas's jewelry right now, it's obviously in his estate, which belongs to his fiance and his son. If you gathered all the shit that he spent, and he might have spent maybe $1 million back then, you know, gold was fucking $600 an ounce. It was fucking cheap as fuck. And you saw everything he got and all the diamonds and the quality and everything, and you put all that together, it'd be about $2 million now. It was crazy. And people, you know, would talk shit, be like, oh man, why are you buying so much jewelry from Ben? You got to make sure you look out. You know, I heard some things about this guy and blah, 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 whatever. The funny fucking thing, Jonas owned like a 110 unit apartment building. He invested in 4 or 5 different big commercial things. And guess what? The best thing in his fucking portfolio was the motherfucking jewelry and watches that he bought from me. It's fucking hilarious, man. But anyways, people didn't fuck with me. I realized how much they didn't fuck with me when he had passed away. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But, you know, one time we're at Magic, and it was like 07, and we were just acting a fool. And he had a gang of fucking big ass chains on. I had some crazy chains on. And we went to Tao, and no disrespect to Jason Strauss and my boy Noah and the owners, you know, of Tao Group and, you know, Marquis and all them. They family. But they were tripping on Jonas because he just looked young, looked like a kid, and he's ordering bottles and shit. And he just got inebriated. He was just out of his mind. And he had a security guard, and they're looking at us, and they're tripping. And this is Vegas. This is inside a casino. You know, the level of security inside a casino is a whole different thing. Like, you can get away with a lot of shit at a nightclub, at a restaurant, in the fucking hood, Beverly Hills. Vegas is just a different thing when you add the casino. The level of guns and police and security is just, you're just not getting away with any kind of, foolishness. And it wasn't even a big bill. It was like maybe $3,500, 4 G's. And Jonas signed the name Peter Pan. And it pissed them off, and they kicked us out. And so Jonas threw one of his chains, probably $150,000 chain, and Jonas threw the chain and was like, here, bitch, here's some ice on ice. And it was just fucking hilarious. I remember I posted the picture on my fucking MySpace, and it was a bucket of fucking ice where the champagne was in and his fucking big ass chain. I can't tell you how many hotels we were kicked out of. One time we were at the L'Hermitage, which is now the Viceroy L'Hermitage on Burton Way in Beverly Hills. And it might have been 08 or 09. I don't remember. And it was me, Jonas, and a couple girls, and we're in there chilling. And this is a Beverly Hills hotel. This is a Beverly Hills hotel, a nice ass 5-star spot. We're in a really nice suite, and we're chilling. And he's playing music really fucking loud. He loved music. The motherfucker loved playing it loud. He just loved living that rock star lifestyle. You know, he's doing this crazy, terrible dance. He looks like fucking Ray Lewis doing that weird fucking touchdown dance, but with broken legs. And remember, Jonas was like 5'6" and 125 pounds. And he's blasting Mickey Avalon, the song Jane Fonda. And he must have repeated it 3 or 4 times. And he was chugging beers. Don't ask me. I don't know. He had room service bring, 20 beers. By the way, there's a true story. Jonas could finish an entire gigantic bottle, a magnum bottle of vodka, about 40 shots in an entire day. Motherfucker could finish 25 beers and still chill and be, I don't know what kind of Asian genetics or what kind of Vietnamese shit he had going on, but I seen the motherfucker finish 25 beers and 40 shots of vodka. He used to carry a sippy cup around, the spill proof ones, and he put some Crystal Light fruit punch in there and throw vodka in there. And I'm talking about a shitload and just be fucking, just be lit, and this dude can drink. That motherfucker could drink. So he's just chugging beers inside the hotel, and he starts throwing them out the window. He had a balcony, he's just throwing them out the window, and I hear the glass crashing, and he's been doing this for like 30 minutes. I've heard Mickey Avalon, Jane Fonda 60 times. He's just doing this shit, just throwing shit out the window. Finally, the Beverly Hills Police Department knocks on our hotel room. And I'm in the bathroom taking a shit. This is a true story, right? I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And I see a cop open the door, bang the door. He says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "The fuck you think I'm fucking taking a shit? Who the fuck? Why are you in here?" And he goes, "Get up." I'm like, "Man, I have half a shit hanging out of my ass. Are you fucking kidding me?" And he goes, "You need to hurry up." And they're like really pissed off. Saw what the fuck is going on. I get up and I see there's 5 cops inside the room. And Jonas is so fucked up. They're trying to ask him questions. And they're just like, and what's your address? Give me your address, blah, blah, whatever. Where do you live? And he gave them the trailer park address. This is the police. All right, Beverly Hills police, if anything. They don't fuck around at all whatsoever. And the chicks were with her real quiet. And they're like, "All right, you got to get out of here." And dude, he's been at the hotel for 3 hours. We ain't even fucking, I don't know. And this is 11 years ago. And he's, probably dropped $1,500 just for that night. And just decided to stay in that because that was real close to my house. It was like a few blocks away from my house. And so we get kicked out. We're getting escorted out of the hotel. I had to fucking wipe my ass real good. And we're walking out. And the valet's bringing his fucking 7 Series BMW around. And I'm like, "Hey, bro, you get in that car, homie. They're going to get you on DUI. And you're going to jail and it's a wrap." So I got my car. What I have at that time? I think I had the M5. So M5 pulls up, boom, he gets in the car. I turn around. We get to my house in 3 or 4 minutes. I'm like, "Bro, let's just chill here." Now I live in a condo. We have homeowners association. You know what I'm saying? I got neighbors who ain't trying to hear none of that shit. I don't already cause so much fucking drama in my building. Everyone knows me, but at the same time, enough is enough. And every time Jonas came over, we fucking be at my house till who knows what time. And he stay over until he fucking sobered up. And the motherfucker wake up at 6 a.m, brought my skateboard and fucking rode to the hotel to get his car. Came back, boom, got some breakfast for everybody and some coffee and shit and bring it up. And, it was just, he acted like there's nothing happened. I'm like, "Motherfucker, the police just kick this out. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got your name on here. Like, you want some other shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?" Anyways, one thing about Jonas that I will say this, man. I'm not going to say I didn't contribute to his delinquency and to his debauchery and to the just fucking derelict lifestyle that we lived and the scumbags that we were. I knew exactly how far I could push it. Jonas went past that, but I knew exactly how silly I could get. And I like to get silly in everything, right? I like to push things to the limit, but I knew my limits and I knew how far I could go and whatever. And this was the time that I was sipping syrup, right? I was sipping lean, sipping drink. And I was at a fucking pint a day habit. I spoke about this on Instagram one time. I posted bottles when I was just I was crazy. This shit was what? $400 a pint. And I was drinking 1 to 2 pints a day. I had a $3,000-$4,000 a month habit. And then Jonas was like fucking with it for a minute too. And then he had a plug and I had a plug. And we're just drinking, we're just sipping, just leaning all the time. One night he stayed at my house and it was New Year's Eve. And it might have been '06 to '07. And we started taking pictures of us fucking counting cash, jewelry, just our outfits being silly. We went to Laurie's, the prime rib on La Cienega, just to get a New Year's Eve meal. And then we like got fucking just super faded, was drinking syrup, just watching fucking old movies. And we stayed in for the countdown. And next thing you know, I finished an entire bottle. I finished the entire pint that night. And I had a pint earlier that day. So I had like a codeine overdose and my stomach had to get pumped. And I live right across the street damn near from Cedars-Sinai. So I was like, hey, Jojo, man, I'm not feeling so good. He's like, yo, man, you look crazy as fuck. I forgot what the fuck he said I looked like. But he made fun of me and he was like, yo, man, he's like, you good? You sure? And I was like, yeah, dog, I go. And I went to the hospital and the guy was like, yo, man, your shit's fucked up. We need to pump your stomach. Pump my stomach. My stomach felt like it was fucking like it was like, first of all, I was about 200 pounds and my stomach felt like it was built of iron. It was like so bloated and it was just, I felt like shit. I was severely dehydrated. I felt crazy. I don't know if you ever drank lean before, you know, after, first of all, it puts you to sleep forever. And then it give you the worst counting mouth in the world, especially if you drank a lot of it with Sprite. So, you know, you had to have like fucking, I had these fruit icebreakers that were around because you would literally go so fucking, your mouth would get so dry. Nothing would dry you out like this. Not running in the fucking desert without drinking water would dry you out like this. It would just fucking lay me out. So I always made sure I had like these icebreaker fruit mints because regular mints wouldn't give me enough moisture. So my tongue wouldn't get fucking just completely like sandpaper. And I'd have Pedialyte all over the place. And Jonas was always concerned about his weight. So he's like, yo, man, there's too much sugar in this shit. Like this motherfucker would eat the most craziest steaks, this and that, but he'd watch his carb intake and he'd watch his sugar intake. But you know, so he'd drink Sprite free, which is like Coke Zero, right? And it just the crazy shit was this motherfucker would get fucked up, party, but then he would go run fucking 6 miles the next day. I'm like, yo, you fucking kill yourself, you know, you're crazy. Jonas was the Jordan Belfort of fashion. He was the fucking real Wolf of Wall Street, you know. This dude was just fucking, is insane. And after I got my stomach pumped, you know, it's the fucking new year. It's like just January 2nd, and I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna drink this shit no more. I'm gonna stop. Of course, that didn't last very long, but I stopped, and then for like 2-3 weeks straight, I was pissing out of my ass. Yellow diarrhea, disgusting. Really, for real, gives you real heroin withdrawals. Like that's how bad it was. I felt sick as fuck. I just was nauseous all the time. I got the sweats, you name it. It was the fucking worst experience, you know. And then I stopped. And then Jonas would fuck around a little bit here and there. And if he got a bottle, he'd finish it, whatever. And at the time, him and his fiance were on and off. This is also his baby's mom. And she completely took me out of context all the time. And you know what? It's very easy to take me out of context. But if you care and you go past the facade and break down the front and get to know me and know that there's a sincere side that I let anybody I care about in, and she could have been one of those people easily. And instead she decided to be fake about it, and she was Korean, which is crazy. And she was traditional Korean, and she saw a message I had sent to Jonas and took it completely out of context. And from that moment on, it was like a Three's Company fucking show episode where there was misunderstanding. And so she thought that, and you know what? Listen, I was a lean addict here and there, but I'm talking about pills and other things. I was not a drug addict when it came to that. I never put anything up my nose. Last time I had done any coke was 1997. I haven't done it since then to this day. I damn near almost fucking hurt myself off that shit. I was like, you know, fuck this. I'm not doing this no more. It fucked me up so bad I stopped smoking weed for 9 years. But she misunderstood. And so from that point on, she judged me a certain way. All this going on, Jonas is not had lean for like 3 or 4 days, and he starts getting the shit, starts pissing out of his ass, and just like, yo, when's this shit gonna stop? It's been 4 or 5 days, and she messaged me like, yo, this is crazy. What's wrong with you fucking guys? Like, why would you do this to your friend? And blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, motherfuckers are grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that I didn't, like, you know, but we all collectively got fucked up. I never forced anybody to do anything, you know, but you know, it was just crazy. You know, Jonas, he lived life to the fullest. He went 10 times past go hard. You know, this motherfucker lived in an era before the Me Too, all the crazy shit. He was just fucking crazy. This motherfucker was so hilarious, man. And, you know, he loved having a fly girl around him and whatever. And one thing that we loved together was the Jerky Boys. Me and this motherfucker must have listened to Jerky Boy. I must have listened to every Jerky Boys album 1,000 fucking times. I actually finally got hold of Johnny Brenneman, the fucking main Jerky Boy, and reached out to him on MySpace because they had the Jerky Boy fan page, which was the real official fan page. And the guy running the page was running it for Johnny, and I met him, and we all talked about this, that, and the third. We were going to collab out, on some things, and Jonas fucking loved. We would just get so fucked up and watch that shit. And meanwhile, this guy's doing collaborations that are beyond fucking control. We had an LRG T-Mobile Sidekick that we did. If you guys remember the T-Mobile Sidekick, and there was an LRG edition, and we were just Jonas was we owned the world, man. We were just killing it, like on globally, like anywhere we went, New York, Miami, Paris, Tokyo, where the fuck we were, we crushed it. Paris, motherfuckers like, who the fuck are these flying motherfuckers, right? Like it was just on some. I wasn't really, I was on my white tee shit, but because of LRG, I was always draped in LRG, head to toe in some fresh shit. And Jonas was an enormous fan of Steve Jobs, respected the fuck out of Steve Jobs. And then finally, he did his first collaboration with Monster, and Monster Cable was the actual original company that did Beats by Dre. It was Beats by Dre, but Monster was manufacturing them, and then Beats decided to leave. And we had directly connected with Noel Lee, who's the president of the company, and his son Kevin was running the company. And we did this collaboration. We did this LRG iPhone case collab, and the shit actually went into Apple stores, which means it went across Steve Jobs' desk. He touched it. He got to see it. Speaking of Steve Jobs, today I flew to Silicon Valley just for the day on a jet, came right back, met with the dude who's probably in the top 5, top 10 richest men on the earth. This dude was one of Steve Jobs' bankers. This guy who funded ridiculously enormous multi-billion-dollar, next level, forever legendary companies. I won't even get into it. And this guy was super close to Steve, so it made me think of just Jonas, and today's his birthday as well. And, he said something today that fucked me up. He said, nobody is an investor until you lose money. And that shit just wow, just fucked me up. And speaking of losing money, going back to the collaboration, it was a crazy ass year. 2007, we had the LRG crew, we had the Monster crew. We took a visit of the Monster campus. They had a sick ass, obviously this is audio place with cables and everything, and they had amps and shit. And we went to their studio, and just at the time, it was in Candlestick Park. They had Monster Park. This is where the 49ers played. And we went to go see a 49ers game. I'm not a Niners fan. You already know that. He isn't either. And we had, they had a suite there, obviously. We got to go on the field. I was shooting my reality show at the time as well. And we're there, and Jonas just gets super fucked up. There was some miscommunication between him and his partners, and they felt like he was neglecting his partners and not showing them enough love, and he was being too much of a fucking pompous asshole. And I don't think he honestly was. And it was just, he was fucked up, and they thought he was favoring me too much. And I wasn't a direct major, person in the company. I just was like a marketing dude, but I was also one of his best friends. And so all this shit was going on. And so we're at the game at Monster Park, which is Candlestick Park. And he's fucked up. He's ready to fight one of his business partners, old salty motherfucker, old Burt Reynolds level motherfucker. He would have whooped Jonas's ass. And these motherfuckers are about to, Jonas is like, fuck you. And it's like, man, what the fuck you talking about? What? What's up, man? And I was like, bro, he would have scraped Jonas off. It would have just been hilarious. So we're all fucked up, whatever. We're trying to go find some girls. We go to this bar, shut it down, make it private. And then at a certain point, we were just so fucked up. We're in the city, we're in Union Square. And we were just like, man, fuck this shit. And so we just left. And we're staying at the Fairmont Hotel. That was the nicest hotel in SF at that time. And I'll never forget this fucking story. This is just fucking hilarious. Jonas and me would make a bunch of real super gay suggestive jokes, not homophobic at all whatsoever, just real gay jokes. Something funny between me and him. I don't know if Jonas had 2 brothers that were gay. One of his brothers was gay, openly out. And I have a lot of gay friends, and it just was shit with entertainment. It was funny, regardless. Nothing disrespectful to them. It was just funny. So we're in this hotel room. I had my own suite. He had his suite. And he just immediately goes in the room. He's fucked up out of belief. You know, we've been in San Francisco since fucking 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. And he's been drinking since 10 a.m. And now it's like 2 in the morning. Calls room service. He orders 2 dozen fucking chicken wings and a cheese pizza and ginger ales. And he's talking all this shit. He's like, oh yeah, you dumbass bitch, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, whatever. I think he's talking to people on the phone. He might have called some girls. I have no idea what the fuck he did. And he's talking shit. He's like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. And he's laying on top of his bed. I didn't even know this the entire time. And he's laying on top of his bed. He's wearing jeans. He used to sag like crazy, right? He has his fucking $45,000 diamond LRG belt buckle. And he pulls his dick and his balls out. And he pulls it over his pants. So now his pants are just, but like the buckle is literally has his nuts, his bare testicles sitting on the fucking LRG buckle, and his penis is out. I'm on the computer checking MySpace, checking out my messages and shit, and just, you know, lurking MySpace for 45 minutes to an hour. All right. Room service comes, and I said, hey man, go ahead and come on in. And like, oh, you know, whatever. So I opened the room service door. Remember, we're in San Francisco. This is a town known for, you know, is a very liberal area that you know has been famous for homosexuality. And the waiter comes in, you know, he walks in and he sees Jonas. I didn't notice until he saw Jonas, and Jonas is laying like just straight flat on a brand new made bed over the covers, passed out, and his penis is out, just wide open, right? I look over and I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, yo man, listen bro, this ain't even what you think it is, man. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like, this is not like, he is drunk, he's fucking acting crazy. And dude's like, oh no sir, it's fine, whatever. And I remember the fucking bill was like $80 for the room service, whatever. And I gave the guy a $100 tip. I was just like, hey man, this ain't what you think it is. I'm sorry. This is, and he's like, no, I'm not judging at all. And the dude was really young for room service dude, right? He was like late 20s, early 30s. And he just like walked out of the room. And I remember and you know, at this time I was pretty popular still. I was on MySpace, you know, I had 100,000 people. I was popular. And I was worried that this dude was like, yo man, motherfuckers are gay, and like whatever. It was just crazy, right? And our nicknames were Cat Dick 1 and Cat Dick 2 anyways. But that was just fucking hilarious. And I almost wanted to just beat the fuck out of him right then and there because I was so fucking mad. I was so upset. Like, yo man, what the fuck are you doing? And those are just some crazy ass memories I had of this dude. You know what I mean? Like, we had an assistant who did favors for us. You know what I'm saying? And just to fuck with him, we would make him drive us around. We'd hit this dude in the head, and you know, for his birthday, Jonas gave him fucking $200 in nickels. That shit weighed like fucking 70 pounds. It was crazy. And we just go fuck with this dude. We would just give him shit. We'd give him trouble. And this dude's out and about now thinking he's the shit somewhere and whatever. And it's fucking, it was just like, it was just crazy, you know, the relationship that I had with this dude, that we would create not just fly jewelry, but clothing. I did a collaboration with them. You know, we changed the game. We were, you know, when Supreme was still big, but we were there right with Supreme. It was crazy. We were literally, yes, and value wise, we were cool. We were crushing it. You know, his office was dope as fuck. He had a huge big ass office, and this motherfucker gave me a part of his office, bought me a computer, bought me an iMac. Was like, fuck this, Ben, you're gonna get in here, boom, and do this. He actually got me from I was rocking a PC for a minute, just because I used to fuck with video games here and there, and he got me on an Apple fucking laptop. And this dude was just always trying to, you know, he was like, this is fly shit. You know, one time we were fucking driving to his house, and you know, got to take La Cienega, go down, and then jump on the 10 freeway, then jump on the 405 and fail 405 all the way down. There's one of those fucking, like, in La Cienega, there's all these car shops that have like high mileage exotic cars. And there was like a 2001 Range Rover, like 50,000 miles on it. And it was like 17 grand. It was just like a fucking whatever. It looked cool, but the car was whatever. And I never fucking told anybody this shit, man. This is crazy. Jonas would just do random ass shit, and we had like almost $9,000 in $1 bills. And in fact, we had like $5,000 in $5 bills, and then we had $9,000 in $1 bills. If you really put that out and spread it out, it could look like a shit ton of money, like ridiculous amount. All right. And so we decided to buy this Range Rover for no reason. And by the way, I'm driving. He had a driver, and Jonas to drive, like, because he's getting fucking drunk, whatever. And we bought this Range Rover and we set it on fire with the money inside the car. And we used his BlackBerry video camera. This is when BlackBerry just had, the first year, I forgot what the fuck that BlackBerry is called, had video capability. And this motherfucker either lost the SD card, the mini SD card that was in there, whatever, but we basically wasted $25,000-$30,000. And on top of that, could have went to jail for setting the fucking car on fire, fucking arson. And this is just silly shit that we did. And I don't want to get too much more deep into it because there's some incriminating fucking shit. But, you know, this was my dog again, you know. And one thing I'll tell you about rehab, at a certain point, he got back serious with his baby moms. He wanted to be in his son's life more. And at the time, I was like, hey, bro, that's what you got to do, you know? So what had happened was she went in there and said, anyone negative in your life needs to leave, blah, blah, whatever. So that's me immediately, right? And like a bunch of other people too. And they always felt like people were leeching off of him and this, that, and the third. And if you didn't work with him, then you didn't see him because he didn't really talk to a lot of people and whatever. And I said, listen, dog, you do what you got to fucking do. I ain't tripping, homie. I'm me regardless, right? I'm always going to be me and I'm always going to do my thing. And I understood. But at the same time, I knew him well enough. When you take someone to rehab, and rest in peace, Mac Miller, because I've talked about this with Mac and I've talked about this with other people. Pretty much when you have a drug problem, it now sounds fucked up. If you go to rehab, the chances of you dying after rehab are high. Because the treatments that you go in, when you go there, once you relapse, it's fucking 10 times more deadly than you could fucking imagine. I don't know, hey, listen, what do you do? Better thing to do is just keep doing drugs? No. But you have to figure there's other ways to do it. There's holistic ways, other people. You're going to go through some shitty ass moments and pain and everything, but it's just like, you know, Jonas was strong enough for this. But, you know, he went to rehab. He was gone for a few months and they didn't have an email, nothing. He had no communication. And then I remember for a little bit, he was able to come out again. And then him and his fiance broke up. Baby mom broke up because she was fucking sick of him fucking with me and whatever. And it was like a weird thing. And we were dating two girls that were best friends or really close friends. And so we go and travel together and do this, that, and the third, and go to fucking Javier's and go to fucking Crystal Cove, run over to Vegas and whatever, and just go out and, you know, party at motherfucking Fashion Island, whatever, and go to fucking have lunch at Quattro Cafe and South Coast Plaza and go to Angin and all the places I told you we used to go to and everything. And he was a different dude. He was really grumpy. And he was drinking, you know, the non-alcoholic beer, like O'Doul's type shit. And I was like, bro, man, you know, one drink, is that going to fuck you up? And he's like, yeah, asshole. The fuck you think, man? You want me to fucking, you know, become a fucking piece of shit again and fuck all this up? I have too much responsibility right now, you know? It ain't a walk in the park anymore. You know, I got investors, I have this, and this. And I was like, hey, dog, whatever you want to do, homie, you good. It's all good. So, 2009, my 37th birthday, there's this nightclub called My House. It's the second party at the club. It was on La Cienega. Used to be the Garden of Eden, legendary location, La Brea in Hollywood. Kim Kardashian had her party there as the opening party. This is 2009. The recession is just starting, or it's been on. And I'm financially doing okay, but not great, right? Jonas is fine. Shouldn't hit it. You know, LRG's still flourishing, it's doing well. One of the few businesses doing well. But definitely, you know, people are feeling it, they're hurting. It's my birthday. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm a party. I don't give a fuck. I don't know how many bottles of Dom Perignon I popped. 30 bottles. I was acting silly. I was just pouring out magnums of Dom P. Rosé on the floor. I was acting crazy. Had a bunch of girls on my table. I was with Jonas. We were acting silly. He wasn't really drinking. And then finally he's like, fuck it. Let's drink champagne. Fuck it. I had George and Jack on the other side of me, directly across. George and Jack are the owners of Platinum Motorsport. There with Rob Kardashian, and my boy Tyga was there. And we were just out acting a motherfucking fool. Credit card bill comes, $32,000. My credit card declines because I didn't have enough money on the card. So I'm like, Jonas, man, you got to help me out. He's like, you fucking dumbass. I fucking told you, man. You always do this shit and blah, blah. I was like, you ain't saving me, motherfucker. Motherfuckers, let me use money. Stop being a little bitch. Bitch, you act like I ain't got fucking $32,000. So he takes care of the rest of the bill. And we get out of there, and I don't know what the fuck happened. End up waking up at like 10 a.m. the next morning. I was so fucking out of my mind. I was so hungover. I woke up and thought I had sex with Jonas. I was so out of my mind. This motherfucker is butt naked in my living room, opening the door when my manager comes over, and we go to the Grove and we're just chilling, whatever. And then at that point, right then and there, was when me and Jonas started talking less. And it wasn't because of what was going on with me or anything else. It was just, later I met Nicolette and we got serious and the timing was on, and I was getting serious. I was like, yo man, you know what, dude, you got a kid. I want to get my life started. I want to get this shit going. And I was having a bad year financially. I wasn't really dealing with LRG as much. I'd say around late 2010, early 2011, I stopped fucking with LRG. And nothing against Jonas. We were still boys, and I was still my bro, but there was just so much corporate shit that was going on. And they brought in a corporate dude to run the company from Macy's and all this other shit. And I was just like, yo, bro, like I was doing this shit for free, just for clothes and fucking around. Like, bro, I know my worth. This is, this shit ain't popping for me. And Twitter was around at this time now, and social media is changing and things are changing. And he's hoping that, I come around and kind of fuck with him some more. And I'm fucking starting to hang out with Drake a lot more often. I get Drake a campaign with LRG. Shout out to Kev D. It was funny. Jonas had a lot of guys around him that knew what the fuck they were doing. And so he had every angle covered like surround sound. He really did. And then he had me that came in for the fucking, for the dessert. And, I knew Jonas so well that if he called me at 11 a.m., I know what he's calling me for. He's trying to tell me about something that's coming up. He's going to tell me about a car he saw, a car that he wants to buy. He's calling me at 2 o'clock. It's maybe marketing. What are we doing tonight? What's going on? And we live fucking 70 miles away from each other, right? If he calls me after 10 p.m., I already know, all right, this motherfucker's trying to get lit. He wants me to come out there, boom. If he calls me after 2 a.m. or texts me or BBMs me after 2 a.m., I already know he's on some whole other shit. So now, the part where I've never told anybody, he got back with his fiance. He's serious. He is not talking to anybody. At this point, I don't have a phone number on him. Me and Nicolette are very serious. I believe we're engaged at this point. And Jonas went through rehab again. Anytime he decides to get off the wagon or, go through whatever, he will start texting people and hitting up homies, hitting up all the people that, he loves to have fun with, whatever. And, I was just on some other shit. I was trying to get my life started. Restarted again. Jewelry's still doing her things, and whatever. And if you ever need anything from me, I'm there like gangbusters. But some time had gone by. His fiance, baby mama, is just not fucking with me. And she's the stupidest, dumbest fucking bitch she's got to be top 5 dumbest bitch in the world. Next to Tommy Lauren, whatever that bitch's name is, she's up there with that level of fucking stupid ass bitch, right? And again, because she never got all the facts, and if she did, it'd be, we would be in a different place right now. But it's Memorial Day weekend, 2011, and obviously, I think his baby moms and his son went somewhere for the weekend. They would have went, they took off, whatever. He hits me on Friday night at 2 a.m. I knew immediately it was him. Later, I found out through our boy, who was like our assistant, our little homie, that they had talked and they had a long conversation. And they don't really talk like that. So I knew he was fucked up. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to entertain this motherfucker. He on some fuck shit. We'll get up on another time and we'll talk. But he needs to figure out that I've been one of the best things in his life. He's one of the best things in my life. This is my best friend, you know what I mean, for fucking 6 years. 6 years in your fucking 30s is like, having a best friend from fucking kindergarten to, 21. It's a different level of what you could do, especially when you are self-made and you have money and you have access. You don't sit there and wait, oh, well, maybe we could do this or we could save up for this trip. No, motherfucker, we doing that trip next week. No, we going here. We doing this now. We going here. We were, we worked hard and we played hard. And he texted me, it was like 2 something in the morning. I knew immediately he was on some fuck shit. And I said, yo, man, this motherfucker's off the shit, or back on the shit, I mean, and he's on some other shit right now. So I already know. Didn't pay attention to it. It might have been Saturday night. I don't remember exactly. I remember exactly what was going on. And so I think me and Nicolette went to Manhattan Beach. And one of the things I like to do is go to Manhattan Beach, the boardwalk right there, and then get on the pier and walk down. And, we would just, it was just, I'm in love with my fiance, and we're out, whatever. And he's doing his thing, and he's in a whole different part of town. And we're at different stages in our lives. And I'm only 4 years older than Jonas, but it was like I already knew he was on some crazy shit. So I remember waking up in the morning, and I wake up and I get an email. Now, I know that sounds strange. Kev D, aka Kevin Delaney. I don't know what Kevin is now. Kevin was at Young and Reckless. He was at LRG for a long time. Kev is a hustler. He's one of the most unique white boys I ever met in my entire life. This dude was fucking with major Instagram models back in the day. And this dude was just off. He's just a fucking amazing. This guy's crazy. I'm sure he had his reserves about me and he didn't like me here and there, blah, blah, whatever. But cool dude. I got nothing bad to say about dude. What I'm getting at is he was the email king. This motherfucker was email, because on Blackberries you email real super fast, and it was like but the iPhone hadn't hit yet. Even then, at that point, iPhone was around. It was like it's cool. I think it was third generation, whatever it was. It wasn't until like the iPhone 4 that motherfuckers went crazy, and that was when Instagram came out and it just went nuts. But he is in the email Hall of Fame, and I get an email from him, and I check my phone, and the email says, "Ben, call Kevion, 5 exclamation marks now." Close my fucking Sidekick. I go into the bedroom and I tell Nicolette, and I was like, "Hey babe, I think Jonas is dead." And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean he's dead? What are you talking about?" And my wife doesn't exaggerate at all. She's just not, my wife hates white lies, little white lies. You want to know why? She's like, they're still lies. My wife is just a straight up normal, decent person. So she would tell you. I'm like, "Babe, I think Jonas is dead." And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, "Babe, I know Jonas. I'm telling you, I know I feel it. That's how connected I am with this dude." I get on the phone, I call Kevion. Kevion is his other best friend. He used to tell people that was his brother. They would say they are brothers, and we did a lot of crazy shit together. Kevion's a good dude, and I call Kevion. And I'll never forget, I call him, I said, "Kevion, what's up?" And he's like, "Man, bro." And I was like, "He's gone, huh?" And Kevion's like, "Yeah, man, how'd you hear it?" And I was like, "Bro, come on, doc." He didn't know that I didn't know, like, confirmation-wise. I just, I knew. And he was like, "Yeah, dog, I'm rushing over now to go handle a bunch of shit at the office, and do you need to come down here?" It was Monday. I was in a state of shock. Within 1 hour, Jonas's name is trending #1 in the world. Jonas Bevacqua, LRG. I'm getting goosebumps as I say this right now. Both my arms right now at this exact moment are completely numb. A bunch of people were hitting me up like, "Yo, come down to LRG. We're all mourning his loss and blah, blah, whatever." And I was shook. I was stuck. I was fucked up. I don't even know what to, I was just out of it. I didn't know what to do. I posted a ton of pictures. I posted things on Twitter. I had a blog at the time, and my blog was really popular. And I started blogging. I just started posting a ton of pictures. I wrote a paragraph. It might still be up somewhere if you Google. I have no idea. I'm looking at my blog, and I know it's archived, so it's up there somewhere. And I just posted a ton of pictures. And at that moment, I knew exactly how motherfuckers at LRG felt about me. Because 95% of them were like, "Oh, Ben ain't coming here to show up to do this and be here with us. Fuck this dude, blah, 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 whatever." And the people start turning against me. His fiance baby moms who is the most thorough bitch in the entire world. She went and decided to fucking start finding out all his fucking finances. She found his offshore accounts. She found fucking shit that motherfuckers couldn't even imagine finding. She found out everything. She had an attorney. She just all this crazy shit. She started fucking taking over this, that, and the third. And I said, oh man, you let this bitch run this shit, man. And it's like, I mean, I know at a certain point you guys had your hands tied, but like at a certain point, no one wanted to fight her. No one wanted to, whatever. Jonas's dad is going through things. I called Jonas's dad to talk to him. He's out of it. Everyone's kind of distraught. Everyone's disoriented. And, you know, they're like, yo, bro, why didn't you come down to LRG? I'm like, motherfucker, you know, it wasn't about the far drive. I'm in a state of shock myself, bro. What the fuck do you guys think? This is my best friend of my life. And I know he's your boss and he was you guys really close to you guys too and whatever. But like, motherfucker, I didn't got to come down there when that, you know, I was on some whole other shit. My whole body, I felt sick. I felt crazy. I felt numb. I felt like I had vertigo. I didn't know what to think. And so they had made their little prejudgments, whatever. And the next thing I know, everyone is being real shoddy about fucking, they're not like giving me information about the funeral, about memorial services, this, that, and the third. And then I'm hearing that his fiance baby mom is hiring security and she doesn't want me there and all this crazy shit. And I think to myself, I'm like, listen, you stupid ass, dumb fucking cunt. This shit got nothing to fucking do with you. It does not matter he's the father of your son. Does not matter if he is your fucking fiance, whatever, and the love of your life, whatever it is. Whatever his friends, whatever relationship his people you don't even fucking like, that shit's got nothing to do with you. Whatever, even if he told you, oh yeah, man, Ben fucked up and da-da-da, it doesn't even matter. That shit got nothing to do with you. You got to let his boys pay respect. There were so many fucking people that hit my phone. I'm talking 1,000 people. 1,000 people hit my phone from Nick Diamond all over the place. People who were close with Nick, with Jonas. Hey, when's the funeral? When's this? And I didn't even fucking, I was so embarrassed that I didn't go. And he was cremated. And she hired security, like 2-3 security guards to make sure no one was in, all this crazy shit. And, you know, people were like, yeah, man, fuck, you know, it is what it is. And boom. And the next thing you know, I'm going to jump years later. I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. I'm more into my own way. It's all good. I'll get over it. I ain't really tripping. Just like, that bitch is stupid as fuck. You know, whatever. As long as, you know, his son is good. And she tried to get all certain legal with this, that, and the third. And I was like, bitch, you can't do shit. You act like you're the only person that got attorneys in your motherfucking life. Bitch, I know a million attorneys. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfucking Robert Shapiro and fucking Johnny Cochran. Like, the fuck you talking about? Like, get the fuck out my face. She didn't like that a picture of her son was on my page and all this other stuff and whatever. And it was like, didn't matter. I took the picture and I had consent from his dad. Go fuck yourself. Years later, I find out, oh, should have listened to you. This bitch is the worst person in the world. Jesus Christ. We inherited a partner. We lost somebody and we inherited a partner who thinks that she has ideas about this. And then she started doing other things. And you know, I just realized, I was like, yo, man, okay. And then I realized, you know, some of his really closest homies were trying to do as best they could to be around her so they could at least, you know, see his son. And she wouldn't let me see him for whatever reason. And I didn't want to fucking disrespect, whatever it was. I was like, you know, man, it is what it is. But it wasn't like it was 85%, which is still bad. 90 is like ridiculous, 95. It was 100% of every single person I told. I said, bro, this bitch is going to fuck everything up and you guys going to end up hating her. 100% of every single person I told that, and this is over a dozen people, everyone agreed with me, 100%. 100% of 100% agree with me. And they're like, yo, man, I don't know what to say to you, boom. I ran into Robert, Jonas's partner, who owned, was the other co-owner and co-founder. I ran into him at Agenda, like, I don't know, like 2015, it's like 4 years later. And he's like, hey, man, I'm really sorry. I was like, oh, dog, don't trip. He goes, no, hey, man. And Robert was not really a man of many words. He's very creative, dope dude. I fuck with Rob heavy. He was cool. He's, you know, he was stern and he was a boss and whatever, but he knows the relationship with me and Jonas was strong. And then he was doing this to try to have a conversation with me in fucking Agenda. And I was like, yo, bro, let's walk over to the side here. We walked over and we talked and he's like, yo, bro, I feel really bad and I'm really sorry that, you know, I didn't approach you and I didn't say thank you for all you did for our company and everything else. And that touched my heart. That meant everything to me. That made up for almost everything except for, you know, his dumbass fiance and everything else. But, you know, still in touch with Albie from LRG. He's over at Stance. Stance is the only sock that I wear. I've been sponsored by Stance for shit, I don't know, more than 5-6 years now. I've lost touch with some of the cats, but some of the people in that original team that I met at LRG are some of the best people in the world. Solid people. Shout out to Millhouse. Shout out to Saya, Tyrone. I don't know, man. It was just a lot of good times. Some of the best times of my life. I'm a dad now. I have amazing times ahead, and I've had incredible moments with my kids. But this was a different time of me being single without kids. And Jonas, I love you. I miss you so much. Think about you every single day. And I wish you were here. Man. I don't know what else to really say. There's I can go on forever, and I'll speak more about it, maybe on the memorial of his death. And oh man, it's crazy. One of the later projects that we did before he passed was a Courvoisier collaboration with LRG, and we did these gold pieces, and we did this denim with gold buttons and gold zippers and real diamond, the little buttons with like the little, I forgot what the fuck you call it, but just little accessories on denim. And we had like a $19 wash. If you know what a $19 wash is, Saint Laurent and fucking Balmain doesn't have $19 wash on their jeans, right? It was like ridiculous, expensive, crazy salvage. And Jonas was all about the best quality clothing, and did this collaboration and did a tour around the USA. And one of the end up spots was New York City, and that's where did the party at Reed Space, which is owned and was founded by Jeff Staple, the creator of Staple Design and the Staple Dunk, who is on the show, and we're going to get into that episode in a second. Once again, man, Jonas Bevacqua, I love you so much, man. I miss you so much. I can't even tell you, man. Yeah, guys, yo, Dust Brothers, throw a little jazzy beat. My man, shit, Jonas, if he heard Lakey shit, he would love this dude Lakey, man. So hit me off with the Lakey beat. Let's let it ride for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's let it ride for some bars. Let's in honor of Jonas, let's let this Lakey beat ride for a little bit. Yeah, man, let's get into this Jeff Staple interview. It's fucking incredible. So yo, man, we are back. Another episode of Behind the Baller. I have a crazy, I don't even know how to describe this man besides being he is an entrepreneur. This is a business podcast, but streetwear pioneer. He's Asian. People think that we're twins. I don't know, man. Listen, I got my man Jeff Staple on the show. What's up, Jeff?
What up, twin?
You know, I know I could Google it, but I just didn't know. What is your last name?
Ng. NG. So I'm Chinese. Yeah.
Oh shit, my business partner's name is NG.
Oh really?
My full business partner, who I own VVS with, my cannabis company, his last name's NG.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I know you're Chinese. I just and that's why I tell people, listen, you know what's fucking crazy? In 2019, I get it when it was 1978 when I was in kindergarten and shit, but in 2019, people are like, oh yeah, man, well you guys are Chinese. Like,
yeah,
bro,
no, we're
man.
just all Chinese. Yeah.
Oh. I mean, it's even more ridiculous than like at least like Dominicans or Puerto Ricans or Cubans. You guys all speak Spanish, like, bro. We don't, like, it's not even the same dialect or even you know what I'm saying? Like,
some of us actually hate each other.
That's true. That's true.
Yo, thanks for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the first time that I've interviewed somebody on my podcast, and now I'm on their podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
I like that I did you in LA and you're doing me in New York. So
I know, how random, right?
Home
and
court
how about
advantage.
This? Both in hotel rooms.
Both in hotels. This one's a little bit better. Yeah. I did you at the where in Glendale. What hotel was that?
The Hampton Inn or something?
Yeah, the Hampton Suites and Inn. You pulled up in your fucking Ferrari into that parking lot.
Well, you know what's crazy is I have a little bit of loyalty to hotels.
Yeah.
In New York City, the requirement's got to be a 5-star hotel, right? But something about me listening to a lot of Biggie lately, and on the song where I'm Fucking You Tonight on Life After Death, it's a song with R. Kelly. It's like track 7. And he says, Suites at the Parker Meridian. And I'm like, yo, dude, that hotel is legendary.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it was the Parker Meridian. Now it's the Parker. And I was like, bro, that Central Park view. I remember back in the late 90s, around that time, I remember it was a big deal to try to get an expensive. I was a VP of A&R at the record label. It was a big deal to try to expense a $700 a night thing back then. You gotta remember, that's $2,000 a night now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different. And of course, I never had a suite that was 1,700 square feet and has a fucking dining room.
This is crazy. Yeah.
And again, look, turn around. You know what I'm saying? Like
this view.
You know, so Columbus Circle, the whole thing. So it is different from the Glendale fucking. But what I'm getting at is it also shows me how far I came, because this is like on my own thing.
You know what else is ironic is you pulled up to the Hampton Inn in a Ferrari.
Right.
I pull up to the Parker in a city bike. I think
Did you really?
Yeah, I rode a city bike up here.
Oh, wow,
and I saw you on your IG complaining about New York City traffic.
Yeah. No, it's gotten worse.
You just don't know how to navigate,
No,
bro.
Listen, I lived here. Remember, I don't know if you remember. Well, almost 2 years I lived here, and I mastered the train system. The thing is, it's hard to get on a train with a $200,000 watch on.
It is a little bit hard, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. I'd be on a bike too, but it's like I'm not trying to pull up the Bathing Ape and fucking sweating and shit. And fucking yesterday was kind of warm. Day before yesterday was even way hotter.
Right.
So it's like I can't, But I do not know. I understand the train. I know billionaires are on the train, but again, they're in a fucking Brooks Brothers suit.
Yeah,
and and they're
low
fucking
key.
little attaché case. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I get stopped everywhere I go here.
Right,
So,
right.
in fact, in LA, I get stopped a lot, but because you have to deal with people here,
You're in the
it's like
streets. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
walking down 56, 40, 45th, 47th, 40 fucking second. I'm getting stopped.
Yep.
Are you what?
Is that Jeff Staple?
No. And I'm like, what the fuck? But they're tripping because I'm like, what are you doing at Chick-fil-A? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm getting a sandwich. What do you think I'm doing? I get hungry too, right?
Right.
But it's funny. So you know what? I had some questions, but now that we brought up the whole thing about China, bro, I gotta ask, man. Like, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, because I used to frequent Hong Kong so much. I love Hong Kong. Kevin Poon and Edison are my boys, and this and that. It's like that, liberated, completely just separated shit. And it was beautiful. Like, there was times I didn't have a valid Chinese visa, and I didn't want one, right? And I've had one for the last, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years. But, like going to Hong Kong was dope, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
What do you think about this shit that's going on over there?
It's crazy. I have no idea how this is going to end. Like, it's going to end bad, because usually when there's like a revolution or something, like one party just sort of says like, fuck it, I give up. Or, one party relinquishes. Both parties right now are like on some,
they ain't backing down,
we're not
bro.
blinking.
The trip is this to me. I didn't know necessarily everything about it. I knew here and there, and I have friends who live in Hong Kong for 20 years, whatever, I have some customers of mine. There's a Korean kid I know who I never understood. I was like, bro, how the fuck do you have $6 million in cost? And I'm talking about retail, not what the current rate is. So we're talking about maybe in the 10, 12, $20 million of, like, he has 6-foot bronze. He has crazy shit. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Find out later that his family owns Shin Ramen. That every single person or they have it on the fucking delis here, and you know what I mean, everywhere. So I'm thinking, okay, you're fully Korean, you barely speak Cantonese, but you navigate your life in Hong Kong. You are balling out here, and then I have friends who are models there.
Right.
I have like just random people.
Yeah.
And they never have to really worry about shit.
I know.
And then this shit happens, and I'm like, wait a second. They're like, last time something crazy happened in Hong Kong, it was SARS, and everyone left the country. Everyone left this, Hong Kong.
Yeah, yeah.
And they thought the world was going to end. They thought it was going to be like 28 days later.
Yes.
And they left for real. One of the crazy parts about that thing is one of my business partners who I have a small business with, he ended up taking out a loan for millions, like multi-millions, at a time where you couldn't take loans because people were tripping. And he took loans at 40% interest because of what was going on.
Yeah.
And he bought skyscrapers, 40 to 80 story skyscrapers in all of Hong Kong City. In Hong Kong, he was buying 80 story high skyscrapers for $3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, one is worth $1 billion now.
Yeah.
So he became a billionaire off that. And the crazy part was he was paying the interest for quite a while. And then when that shit passed, I mean, there's more billionaires in Hong Kong than there is in here in New York City now.
Yep.
Which is, New York had the reign supreme for the longest.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with those regular billionaires. My boy kind of had, it's like, it just was just a ballsy move.
Yeah.
And I asked him, and I said, bro, what are you doing? Your kids, all 3 kids go to school in Hong Kong. He goes, yeah, currently we've been living in Barcelona for the last, few months. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, Ben, man, they've taken over the airports and stuff, and you never know what day it might happen. I just don't want to have that feeling of, well, I can't go to the airport today, I can't do this. I really don't know what's going on. I'm like, bro, you own a $70 million house in fucking East TST. Like, what are you going to do? And he's like, right now, I really, thank God I do have the means to not worry about it.
Yeah.
He's like, but I can't have our situation over there, because he said there are literally areas of where you don't know where the fuck things are. I mean, you do know, he says, where people are blocked off areas.
Yeah, they announce
He's like,
it and stuff.
But you're talking about normal areas that you've walked around are filled with people. And people in China already wear the masks, because it's the bad air.
Yep.
That's just a trend in Korea, China, Japan.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, it's getting bad. You don't know what the fuck is going on. And these are like dudes you would laugh at, but now they're upset. And and so the city's fucked up. And I'm like, okay, hold on. What's really going on though? So I had to listen to Michael Rappaport's podcast, because he has this political correspondent that goes on there and talks. And then I found out that, they don't want Hong Kong to be this fucking like this liberated fucking area. And what's the agreement? Do you know? It's like 2050 is when it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to be up for
Part of China again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nah, fuck that. We're going to change it. And now it's 2020. And I'm like, how are you going to take 30 years off of
A deal.
a deal, right?
Yeah.
And I guess listen, if they ban me for life, it is what it is. They're starting to ban people for everything.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
real.
if you saw, they banned Zed, the DJ, because
Really?
he liked the South Park tweet.
Wow.
And then I remember Rocky, when, did you go to Intersect? I forgot.
No, I didn't go.
Okay, at Intersect, Rocky performed. And ASAP, and he threw the microphone down because the sound was off. They banned him for that. There's a lot of crazy bannings. You know that, right?
I
They
know,
banned
I
Linkin
know.
Park.
Yeah.
So maybe they banned about this. Listen, tell you the truth, I don't know what side is what, and I don't really. I got no issues with nobody. Do you know? But it would suck.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about, like? I mean, how often do you go back to China or to HK?
Like 5-6 times a year, bro.
Yeah, shit, dude.
I go to China more than HK though.
Right.
I actually like China more.
I'm a little opposite. I had a tough time navigating Beijing. When I had Superism, the men's line, and then became a kids line. ASAP Rocky would be a majority owner. Our factory was in Dongguan.
Yeah.
So, it's like past Guangzhou in the area. And when you really see, like, it's different. You go to Hong Kong 15 times. You go to Shanghai, go to Beijing. Even in Beijing is where I saw some serious poverty still.
Yep.
And then you go into Dongguan and
Yeah.
and you start seeing like, whoa. Like Guangzhou's one thing, and do you ever go to the marketplace where like they have all the crazy, that's one thing. Going to fucking Dongguan, I remember being stuck in traffic, and it was 18 miles maybe.
Yeah.
18 miles in China is equivalent to, maybe 100 miles here, right? I remember we got stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. And I told Michael from Publish, I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Find me a helicopter in Guangzhou, and I don't care if it costs $15,000. I'm not even joking you. And he's starting to trip out. He don't realize how bad my anxiety's getting. I'm starting to really lose it. And then my mental health starts to, like, really getting bad. And now I'm getting it fucked up for the other people on the van.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. And I'm like, dude, I'm not this guy, but this is crazy. Bro, it took us 3 hours to get to Guangzhou from Dongguan when it should have been maybe a 45-minute drive with the typical traffic. On the way home, I decided to take a different type of transportation that got me to my spot in like 50 minutes. It took the rest of the people to get to our hotel. Are you ready for this one, bro? 10 hours, dude.
You would have straight killed people.
Bro, they were starting. They started getting violent. Bro, the driver made a wrong exit.
One wrong turn, yeah.
One exit took 2.5 hours. And they were tripping. Bro, they were Snapchatting. And they were literally dead stopped. One of them walked to finally found a convenience store. It took them an hour to walk and find it. They came back and still were able to walk in the shit. The car had moved maybe 40, 50 feet. Like, this is some crazy shit.
Wow.
So I'm trying to tell people how it gets them. And I remember telling some guy in Beijing, he told me during the Olympics, they had like these luxuries for the people who were super wealthy and the people weren't. And he said traffic would be booked up for days.
Days.
The army had to get involved to like
People don't get it. Like literally, you sit in traffic for days.
days. And then I remember I had an appearance at this nightclub in Beijing, and they told me the place was like 2 miles. I was like, 2 miles, like motherfucker. Now, mind you, it's like 175% humidity outside. It's like 88 degrees. And I didn't know that cold water and ice cubes are like a beyond luxury.
Yeah.
Like, the motherfucker will give you some Gucci pants before they give you some cold water,
Some
right?
ice.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here, right? I'm in the Four Seasons, bro. Someone's got to, this is some crazy shit. And I remember walking down and seeing people like an old 80-year-old dude with an 85-year-old woman on the back of the bike and then a kid in the fucking basket.
No helmets.
And yeah,
No one's got
and
helmets.
their shirts are always like wrapped up, you know what I mean? Like this. And like, they're passing me in the car service. And I'm like, bro. Anyways, going on. I mean, what happens, bro? If like, I mean, you're not going to go there, right? When like, it's going to get progressively worse, I think. And then there'll be the finale, and then who knows?
I know. And the Hypebeast is based out of Hong Kong. So I'm always meeting with those guys like Kevin Ma and stuff. And every time like meetings are getting canceled because half the people couldn't make it to work that day. You know, it's really, retail is down like 50% in Hong Kong right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, retail stores are down 50%.
I remember that there's this place, there's an Adidas store in Hong Kong, in like the main part of Kowloon. And I was like, $600,000 a month in rent? That's what their store, and I was like, I couldn't understand how they could even, they must just lose money and just, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But shout out to Hypebeast family. They're all good people, man. Kevin Ma's my guy.
For sure.
I remember first going over there to shoot over there. And I was like, hold on, motherfucker. You motherfuckers are north like a bitch. Like, you know, it was like out of the way. But, so yeah, what are they going to do then? Do you have any idea? I mean.
They got to grind it out. They got too many people there already. And they're publicly traded now in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's right. So they can't just move.
No. They got to grind it out.
So I don't know, man. I mean, do you think that China will take over the fucking country? I mean, the area?
Yeah, I think China's going to win this draw.
Right.
You know?
You heard like 2 years ago, right? There was an issue with Korea. I think there's still a small little issue right now.
Korea versus who?
With China.
Okay.
So, okay, imagine this is a somewhat decent big hotel. I'm trying to think of think of the Hyatt Regency in the Westin in Times Square. Imagine how big those brands are.
Yeah.
Let's say we're in China right now. Okay. There's a hotel called Lotte, Lotte.
Yes.
Lotte is an enormous Korean brand.
Yep.
Some of the biggest drinks you think are Japanese, they're not. They're Korean drinks. You know, Pocari Sweat, you know, these iced teas and stuff and these milk teas. They're owned by Lotte. Lotte owns a shit. They're like beyond Nestle, like Coca-Cola. They, they have all
McDonald's,
kinds
they're
of
bigger. Yeah. Yep.
So they own hotels and stuff. A couple years ago during the drama with China, something happened. I don't remember exactly what, but China was like, fuck this. They demolitioned a fucking 30,
Lotte.
40 stores. Yeah, they demolished the hotel. And G-Dragon, all the big K-pop stars, they were no longer allowed to go into China. They weren't allowed in Korean passports inside the country. And I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me. I was like, wait, so how's my boy Jay Park going there? He's a huge K-pop star. He's got an American passport. So it was like weird gray areas here and there, blah, blah. But like at the airport, like, nah, fuck you. Because Beijing to Korea is 45 minutes, 50-minute flight. You know, it's nothing. So like they were just tripping. So like when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know how much more they could put up with it.
Yeah, China controls everything, man. They could just shut shit down anytime they want. Like Uber tried to go to China, and they're like, "No, we ain't having it." They have a version of their own Uber called Didi.
No, but listen, hold on. I don't know when, but 3 years ago or 4, the Uber did exist there for a short amount of time.
They did, but you know what happened?
What?
Didi now owns majority share in Uber globally. That's how
Jesus
gangster they
Christ.
are.
Yeah, dude. But I remember taking an Uber in China. I mean, in Hong Kong and stuff and whatever. So, enough of that. But that's just crazy because I'm just like it's some current shit. You know what I mean? Especially for listen, I gotta have at least 15% Chinese listeners, bro. That's some ill shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And you see people like my boy was all he talks about is 852 life. You know, Hong Kong, this, and he posted a Chinese flag, and I'm like, bro, you gotta make up your motherfucking mind, dog.
Yeah.
And like, no, bro, this is what it is.
Right.
I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's just crazy because that's. You prefer Shanghai, this whatever, and I prefer HK. That's just been my shit.
But you know what? Can I say something about Asians in general?
Yeah.
There's a part of me, and again, I don't know who's actually right or wrong. We're not living there. We don't know it for sure. But I do think that one silver lining thing out of this is that I think Asians in general need to learn how to speak up.
Right.
And that's like the silver lining where it's like if you are not satisfied with something, Asians are too often like just quiet about it.
And they'll take it, yeah.
And that's why I actually love you so much, because you're the one Asian that is like,
oh, hell no.
not been humble, you know? And it's like, you just speak your mind. And I feel like a lot of times Asians, especially in America, just are like too reserved.
No, they'll take it on the chin.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck if you're Puerto Rican, black, German, whatever's reigning supreme in the area, or whatever the cool thing is, or anything. I don't care if the hotel's all white people and they're prestigious and fucking pretentious or whatever it may be. You know goddamn well I worked hard to get where I'm at. So I'll be like, listen, motherfucker, I need the same treatment or I'm gonna fuck shit up. But it backfires, but you know, it's live or die by it.
I know. It's dope. But we win in subversive ways.
Yeah.
Like, we won't make a loud stink about it, but we'll just own the whole shit like in 2 years. That's how we get
funny,
back at you.
You know, the funny thing is, even though I got a better math SAT score, because it was just like whatever.
Yeah.
But like, people assume immediately, oh man, hey, how much is fucking 13,000 times 40, 486? I'm like, motherfucker, why would I go get your calculator out? Like, you got the wrong Asian, man. Like, you know. So let's get into it. Why the pigeon?
Oh, you're going to start there?
Yeah, I need to know.
I mean, you lived in New York, so you know.
Of course.
The pigeon is kind of like the unofficial mascot of the city. And, you know, growing up, I was a huge fan of like Polo, of course, and then Echo, Lacoste, and then, of course, LRG. And each of those great brands had like a mascot. And so when it came time for me to give a mascot to my brand, I was like, let me pick something that like no one is fucking with right now. In fact, people will scratch their heads. Yeah. And it was the pigeon. And I felt
feel like such an asshole now asking that, because we really think about it. I just talked about Mike Tyson before we started the show.
There you go.
Motherfucker had a pigeon coop in his house. Like, I get it. No, you're right.
I got to go to Mike Tyson's pigeon coop with him in Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
Mike has 1,000 birds.
Yeah, he talks about it all the time.
In Brownsville. He knows the name of every single one. So when they're doing laps, the 1,000 pigeons, he's like, Roger, get in line. He's yelling at the bird's name because he knows how their flight pattern is.
Okay, so you met him before then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now,
amazing, man.
Let me ask you a question. Were you blown the fuck away of how articulate this man is?
Dude is Bruce Lee level philosopher.
Yes.
Like, he is so... I think actually the boxing helped him become like, people philosophical.
Like, and listen, he might be listening to the show and people have this, the stereotypical like, oh man, he's so dumb, blah, blah. When he started breaking down Alexander the Great's life to me, I said, bro, I must be high, because we're smoking and shit right together. I'm like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? The level of brilliance that was being spewed out of that fucking man's fucking fierce, being. Yep. I was so blown away that I didn't know how to even react to it.
Yeah.
That when I walked off and I listened to a couple episodes of him, I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker is really like, he's insanely intelligent.
Let me tell you my Mike Tyson story, okay?
Please.
So we had an hour carved out in the schedule to be on his rooftop. And, he's a busy man.
Just beyond busy.
That hour meeting ended up being 5 hours on his rooftop. I had a camera crew with me to capture, and the camera crew was like, yo, bro, how long we gonna be up here for on his roof? So finally we finish up 5 hours. The camera crew goes down, and this is Brownsville. To get down off a rooftop, you're going down the fire escape, right? So it's like real treacherous. Everyone goes down. It's finally just me and Mike on the roof, and I'm like, yo, peace, Mike. Thank you for the time. It was amazing. I start walking down, and I'm going down the fire escape ladder, and he's alone on his rooftop right now, right?
Yeah. And
he's like just pacing, and he turns to me, he's like, yo, Jeff, Genghis Khan. And I'm like halfway down the ladder. I'm like, excuse me? What? You got Genghis Khan blood in you, right? I was like, shit. What do you mean? He's like, yeah, man, he's the greatest warrior ever, and he's in you. The DNA is in you. And I was like, thanks, Mike. So like, it's just philosophical to like just the shit that goes to his brain.
I won't get into it. People can listen to the fucking Mike Tyson. It is some crazy shit though. He fucked me up. And the level of amount of drugs, he can't even believe he's not dead yet. He told me, and just speaking of pigeons though.
Yes.
Going back. Now I understand. It makes complete sense. I totally got, I brain farted when I thought about Echo, and I was like, no, there was a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
So, what's the most a pair of pigeon dunks have sold for?
It's going for about $18,000 to $20,000 on StockX right now. But I'm actually doing this. I'm doing this thing with this company that you should check out called Otis. Otis is a startup that's just beginning, and basically what they're doing is they're allowing people, like, if you want a cause piece but you can't buy the whole thing, they're allowing people to buy shares in a cause piece. So you could say I own 20% of a cause piece.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's held in a safe vault museum type thing. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's fucking amazing.
So they had me pick my top 5 Nike SB Dunks of all time.
Right.
And you can buy the bundle, but you could just buy shares of it.
That's a fucking amazing.
Yeah.
At the same time, what a
world we live in.
What a fucking, that's just crazy. Can you imagine? Like, hey man, you ain't got no stable dunks, motherfucker. I have 17% in one, bitch.
I'll show you my portfolio right here on my phone. Here
hilarious.
You go. Because it's not about owning the shoes anymore. You know what I mean? So anyway, they were trying to get pigeon dunks from people to get this collection. And they were offering people like 25,000. And they're like, nah, actually I changed my mind. I want to keep it. Because it's like, to people, it's like a holy grail of the entire culture.
You know the fucked up part about it is I had a pair. And shout out to, is it Dave Ortiz? Dave's Quality Media?
Yeah, DQM, yep.
I had a pair from him, and then my boy Dom, Brooklyn Projects, he had them too. And the crazy part was, as much of a mess as it was, Dom was like, bro, I got you if you need one. And it was so weird because it was such a fucking hard dunk to get, and he was cool with just, don't worry about it, I got you. And that was a crazy thing because I didn't take advantage of that one. Whatever. Bottom line is, I got rid of all my shit. And this was, what year did it drop?
2005.
Okay. I got rid of my entire collection in 2004, right? There was a kid on Nike Talk who was a protege of mine. I had no idea I motivated him to be so whatever. And he died in 2005. His name was Alon, Sir I-N-Y. It was a big deal on Nike Talk. He was murdered. He was a rich Vegas Jewish kid. And I made a methamphibian Air Force One and attributed him. We became the highest selling shoe in eBay history. We beat the eBay Dunk for this methamphibian Air Force One in honor of him. What do you remember what month it was?
February.
Okay, so that was because I said I got off Nike after 2004. I was like, fuck this. But I had a couple pairs. I think I had a pair of Supreme Dunks. I had those Sakura Unos, the Cherry Blossom Air Force Ones. There was like 3 or 4 Grails. 85 fucking Jordan 1s. That was one of them.
Yeah.
I forgot what year I just said, yo, you know what, man? Even the 85's got to go. Everything's got fucked that. From 05 to 11, I forgot. I went a good 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 8 years maybe, where I just said, man, fuck. Whatever the Galaxies and Yeezy 2s came out, Air Yeezy, is when I finally said, all right, man, it's been enough, man. I need to this is so stupid, right? But it was crazy because I tried them on. I walked around the house in them. But for the most part, they were either 9.99999 out of 10 condition. They were dead. I don't know if they're dead stock, but I remember I was going to sell them to Domaney.
Yeah, Domaney Flight Club.
Yeah, and I mean, I know Domaney. He was actually an honorary member of Air Max, and he had vintage kicks, and he was beefing with Ricky's from Ricky NYC, blah blah whatever. I forgot what his name was. It's not Ricky. Anyways, going on this OG New York sneaker shit back in the day when fucking people were going to Philly here and there. You could actually find some shit when people actually cared.
Yeah,
like vintage shoes now don't go for shit. Like kind of, find a pair of OG Vandals, but who cares?
Yeah,
it meant something back then.
How many shoes do you have now? Did you build it back up?
So about a year ago, I got down to 28 pairs. It was so insane.
That's incredible that you got down to 28.
Unbelievable, because I had 1,800 pairs at one point, right? And I was like, yo, I got the 28. I think right now I'm probably like right around between 36 and 40 pairs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, still crazy.
Like crazy low.
Yeah, crazy low.
For you.
Insane low. But what I do is I'll rock them, like 7, 8 times, and that shit's just got to go.
See, people who are listening to the show who are not maybe sneakerheads have to understand when we say you have 38 pairs and that's amazing, or 48 pairs, like people in our culture have thousands, if not tens of thousands.
Yeah.
So if I came to you and I said, I have 3 pairs of shoes in my collection, people would not believe you.
Oh, no, dude, people didn't even believe 10 because you don't understand. Like, for me to have 500 in 2002, people thought, I was crazy. The only person that was even close to me was maybe Clark Kent. And then AM got to 500, and then Homicide got to like around 500, and then I got to 1,000. Then I got to it started getting, people don't realize, I had a 4-bedroom apartment, which is already rare. You don't have 4-bedroom apartments, 3 is rare. And I had 2 bedrooms were dedicated just stock rooms.
Right.
And
well,
I was like,
shameless plug. Yeah. If you listen to our podcast on Hypebeast Radio, you break down the whole story of how you went up and down the whole entire Pacific coastline, scooping up SBs, fucking up your girl's credit card rating. Yeah. It's an incredible story.
This is some fucking crazy shit. Yeah, you definitely gotta listen to Hypebeast, the business of hype.
Business of hype.
Yep. How did you get an SB account without being a skate shop?
Yeah, we were like the only one. I think it's because of what we did with the Pigeon, you know. And Reed Space really was a one of a kind store. Really, the only other store in the world that was like Reed Space was Colette in Paris, where it was just a multicultural, multi-art, streetwear, you know, kicks, luggage, CDs, mixtapes, everything in one store. Nowadays, that's like commonplace. But back then, when I opened in 01, you know, I opened 3 months after 9/11 in downtown New York City. That's not a smart business move, you know. You ask any businessman, yo, I'm going to open a store in downtown New York City 3 months after 9/11. What do you think?
When did God, what's my guy's name? Fuck, I can't think. Next door with the fucking Evuzus. What's his name?
Prohibit.
Yeah, what was his name again?
Shin.
No, not Shin, the other dude.
Chance. Chase. Chase Infinite.
No, Chase worked there.
Yeah.
Chase is my boy for fucking 20
Chase,
million years.
so you got Chase, Shin.
That's what the owner, dude, who fucking ran
Shin
it.
is the owner, no?
No, bro, there was a dude.
A Japanese dude?
No, white boy. What's his name, man? Fuck.
There's a white boy there?
Yes, dude, because they had the Evisu denim, and it was fucking, what's his name? Oh, my God, it's driving me crazy. Jewish cat, dude.
Really?
Yeah, man. Fuck. Anyways, fuck it. Listen, Reed Space. Why the name Reed Space?
So this is kind of a romantic story, but my high school art teacher, his name is Michael Reed. And he meant so much to me because he was really the first cat that was like, you don't have to be like a lawyer or an accountant, you know that? You don't have to actually listen to your parents. You could actually like do this art shit for a living. And I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. So he really had a huge impact on my life. And then senior year in high school, he died in the middle of the semester. You know how he died? Decapitated on a motorcycle.
What the fuck?
Yeah, on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Jesus Christ.
And so like when the most important figure in your childhood life, your best teacher, you come into school the next day, you're like, oh, I'm gonna see Mr. Reed and like do my art shit. Oh no, you know, he's not here. And then you start digging and then you find out that like he was probably intoxicated on his Harley, New Jersey Turnpike, a truck hit him. Man. It was after that it was just a wrap for me. I was like, you know, I just want to dedicate my life to him. And actually, little known fact, but after that, so you know when you buy a laptop, I don't know if you do this, but you could change the name of your hard drive to whatever you want. It doesn't have to be Macintosh hard drive. That's what it comes default as.
Right.
But I always change the name of my hard drive. And ever since he died, I changed every hard drive that I've ever owned to Mr. Reed.
Oh, wow.
So like it's kind of like I put all my art files in his soul. And then when I opened the store, I was like, I'm going to dedicate it to him.
Damn.
Yeah.
The first time I heard of Reed Space, I remember seeing it during the Prohibit days. Fuck, it's driving me motherfucking nuts. Because, dude, Meth Amphibian used to like literally go to Prohibit. His first show was at Prohibit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I remember your store was there, but there's like no sign that says Reed. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it was. So I know seeing your store, never paid attention, never thought about whatever. But I remember seeing it because Meth Amphibian's first show. Anyways, going on. It wasn't until we skipped to 2007, 2008 that my best friend in my life, Jonas, he did his LRG thing there. And I was like, okay, hold on, wait a second.
Yes.
Reed Space, what the fuck? One thing I will say that I regret, and I don't know why I should just smack myself in the fucking mouth right now. I went to go visit Chase one day. And two things that happened that day. Me and my wife were at the MoMA. We're running around. It was like 2011, so this is 8 years ago. Just walking around the city, having a good time. Actually, we're staying here at Central Park as well. I was staying at some small spot. It wasn't a 5-star. It was a 4-star. It was like a place called the Bentley Hotel.
Okay.
It's right over here.
It's the tough times era.
No, it was
4-star
actually,
hotel.
the funny thing is, what wasn't crazy is the recession really fucked me really bad. I never felt things like it. Hawaii Mike, when he had LTD Magazine, he had an issue where he said, never in history has anyone seen nothing like this. Our parents haven't seen a time like this. This is some tough time shit. And I remember I was like, yo, bro, I'm in a luxury business. No motherfucker needs to shit. They say, oh, the 1% ain't affected. They were affected. This shit was crazy.
Yeah.
My wife came into my life right at the end of that. And it was like, you know, so I was like really being, not necessarily frugal. I was being like, all right, dog, let me pick and choose what luxuries I'm gonna fuck with.
Right.
So, you know, New York is different from, I mean, you could be in Beverly Hills, but even Beverly Hills prices might not compete to a Midtown Manhattan, like nice hotel. So we're downtown. I walk into Reed Space and I already have an insane Bear Brick collection already as it is, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Eddie Cruz. And you guys had the fucking 4 Beatles, Kubricks,
1000%. Right?
1000%. for retail, or maybe no bullshit, I think the guy who was working in the shop was like, oh, it's Ben Baller, you know, like, I mean, we can give you some kind of a deal on this or whatever. And I was thinking like, okay, shipping's gonna be a bitch, blah, blah. But that's what it is. In China, it's 10 times worse, or Japan to ship it to me. So this ain't that bad. And it was such an insane deal that it was like 1,700 shipped or 18 for the whole set. They got to be over 10 grand now, right? Easily. And that's not that it's a crazy comp, like a cause crazy deal where I bought a painting for it, but it's still like, you know, and now the same day, there were these Cause Visvum slip-ons for 160 that got to be at least 3 or 4 grand. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, 2 things. And Chase is like, why don't you buy these? This ain't shit for you. And I was just being like weird.
Frugal. You were being like,
I was being on the weird shit, right? Bro, now, I might see a latte I really want to be like, $100? That's cool. Fuck it, let's do it. You know, like, and I could be on some frugal shit and still spend $100 on.
So you passed up on both of those things?
Passed up on both those things. I was inside your store, boom. But the reason why I even went to Reed Space was because Jonas had just passed that year, and it fucked me up that I was like, you know, let me come in here and just. Jonas had just passed like 2 months prior to that.
I know.
And it was like, it was summer 2011. He had died on Memorial Weekend in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, for Jonas to choose Reed Space to do his event at, like, it was amazing.
It was a big deal, bro. You have to understand, this dude was such a revolutionary.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I said, yo, why the fuck? And the funny thing was, Jonas was in negotiating a deal to get an apartment here. He's like, fuck this. I need to buy coastal. Even though he lived in Orange County, which I fucking hate Orange County.
Yeah.
I've never liked it. He's always loved Orange County. And he's kind of from there, but he's not technically from Long Beach, but it's like, you know, he's adopted. He's one of like 8. He would frequent Paris. He was on Balenciaga vibe, like fucking 06, 05, way so fucking far before anybody else. You know, he was just super dope. And then like, I was like, Reed Space.
Right.
And he's like, well, it's like right next to Prohibit. It's right there. I was like, bro, I don't know if you know this, man. That area wasn't that great back in the day. Like, you fuck around and get, like, if you look at where A-Life Rivington Club, is that still around or no?
Yeah, it is.
Going to LES, bro, you didn't go to LES in the 90s, bro. You get straight robbed.
And you got to understand, LRG at that point, he could have done it at, like, Bergdorf.
Oh, for sure
he could have done it anywhere he wanted.
Bro, we did a Cavassier collaboration at the same time. That's where it was.
That was what Cavassier, yeah.
We did a Cavassier collaboration. You got to remember, $5,000 pair of jeans. I did real diamond buttons, real gold, the rivets. All that shit was, I made all those in gold and diamonds. Bro, we could have did it, but you know, you're right, anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, hold on, dog. And he's like, come on, man, Jeff, stay with this. I was like, I don't know, dude. I know the pigeon. And I'm like, wait, listen, he's Asian? He's like, bro, man, he was breaking down all the reasons why to me. And I was like, all right, dog. Man. And he was really on some future. He was. Jonas was the first guy to buy a $25,000 vest, like in 07. And I'm like, hey, bro, I don't know, man. You're tripping. You know, we went to Mr. Chow's on his birthday, and he came there with no shirt on, of any place you could do it as, Mr. Chow's. No shirt on, and he had a Louis Mink scarf on. Like, you know, he was just a fly dude. And like, you know.
But he was hot. Like, you know, he recognized what I did. He was buying these $25,000 suits. Like, he just was so wide open. He was probably like the most balanced, wide open, sort of like, you know, exposing everything together. That's why LRG was like the shit that it was.
Nah, for sure. Did you go to college?
I am a double dropout. So I went to NYU, dropped out, went to Parsons School of Design, dropped out. So I went to 4 years of school and I have no degree to show for it.
You're a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I'm the dumbest. That's the dumbest way you could do it, kids. just decide to not go and save the $180,000.
Yeah, did you have any student loans or did you?
Yeah, no, student loans, everything.
Fuck me. You paid them off, right?
I paid them off.
Thank God, bro.
Yeah.
I just paid off my wife's student loans like last year, and I was like being fucking cheap about it. I was just like, yo, man, this was fucking debt you incurred before I was even involved in your life. You know what I mean?
I'm responsible for this shit now.
She went to fashion school. She graduated from FITM, and I was like, fuck, man. But it was funny.
Yeah, I remember one of my first design jobs after I quit school was this Japanese company, you know, asked me to like create a brand and a logo and like a brand name for them. And they're like, oh, you know, how much do you charge? I literally looked at my college debt and it was $86,000 and change. I literally was like $86,221. And they're like, okay, I took the whole check and just paid off the debt in one shot.
Fucking amazing. You know what though? You know what the crazy thing is? Actually, I don't know if I should share this secret. I shouldn't even. But like, you know, if I'm in the hole something, right? Let's say if I'm like, fuck, man, I'm so mad about that. I just fucking lost $4,000 on something stupid. Damn, I can't believe that shit was $11,000. You know what I do? I'll actually tack that onto a bill
Just
sit there and be like,
11,000, just
"Yo,
some
bro."
dumb shit.
No, on top of whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, nah, the bill ain't 86, bro. The bill is exactly 102,000. I'm like, the fuck would you get that number from? Because I mean, at this point, I could charge whatever. Because I mean,
Yeah.
either you fuck with me or you don't. And if you don't, I'm not really mad about it because I have other revenues of business. But I'm being honest.
I know.
Because
I
you have
do
to
the
spend a
same
certain
thing.
amount.
I do the same thing, bro.
What year did you make your first million?
Well, there's the business and then there's me. And it's sort of hard to separate, but Staple was $1 million company like fucking 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean,
So it's like,
so a couple years after you, is that what?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to separate because
No, I get it.
what is like who's going to buy Staple without Jeff Staple and vice versa, you know what I mean?
True.
So it all comes together.
That's when I actually realized that I couldn't call my company Icy Fresh anymore. I needed to, well, first of all, we got sued by the company Icy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, what the
Stupid.
fuck? And the crazy part was, that's when I started realizing, I always knew that rich people go in court and they sue each other and that's how they fuck each other and they go to court, get tied up in legal shit and litigation and blah, blah, and contracts. And then I realized, holy shit, because we popped up in the first 20 searches for Icy, they want to be in the whole first
They
20.
want to own the whole shit.
Yeah, we popped up like number 5.
Right.
And the thing was, one of my slogans for the longest time is many are cold, but few are frozen.
Yep.
That's confusing to people, right? They're like, oh, is this a drink? Boom. And then it was like, I was like, iced out this. And they're like, no, we're Icy, the most fucking biggest fucking slushy, whatever, you know, they're as big as a Slurpee, whatever you be, Icy. And I'm like, man, these motherfuckers better get out of here. They owned a jewelry trademark because they have pins and something else. And I was like, that's not jewelry. There was very specific things about this. And I
The
was like, so
category though, yeah.
they sent the cease and desist, changed the name, blah, blah. And I was like, I met with this dude, Lowell, and he was Jonas's trademark attorney. He's like, I got the illest trademark attorney. Boom. He goes, you could beat this. And the dude goes, you could win. He's just going to cost you 2.5 at least because they're going to tie you up in Ontario, Texas, here and there, everywhere, every city and state that they own a trademark in, they're going to get you here, here, and here. And I was like, man, fuck this shit. That's when I came up with IF and Co. because it was still I actually fresh, but it was internally flawless and company. It just made sense. And I was like, yo, Aaron Levant goes, Ben, you're more marketable now. This is more of a more elegant name.
Right.
It was boom.
Yeah.
Then I realized when I started VVS, what's VVS other than baller? Take out the 2BB logos, take myself out of it. Boom, it's a turnkey business. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're
tough.
saying.
I just got the pigeon in China, all of Greater China. That shit cost me so much money.
Fuck
Can
me,
you imagine
dude.
trying to like
I can't.
own a bird
There's
in
more
China?
pigeons in fucking China than there is fucking
There is.
here.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So how much money did you start Staple or Reed or any, like how much money did you start with the business with?
This is a funny story. I always advise kids to not do it my way, but I basically, you know, when you start a business, there's different ways you could go about it. You could ask family and friends for a loan. You could get a partner right off the bat and get like, you know, equity shares. Or you could do it the way I did it, which is max out 8 credit cards and put yourself into $150,000 in debt. But
That ain't 150 ain't shit
yeah,
really.
the good, but this is in '96.
Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's probably
That's a
what
million.
that's $1 million now.
Yeah.
But the good thing is you own 100% of the company. You don't have to answer to anybody. You have no shareholders to answer to. Sure, if you're late, you got to pay 22% interest, but there's like loan sharks that are like 40% interest, as you said, like your boy in Hong Kong, right? So it's actually not that bad, but it's a tricky game because you could destroy your credit rating, which means you ain't getting a car or a house or anything after that. And I did. I destroyed
my credit twice. I've talked about it on my show. I've destroyed my credit twice.
Yeah.
And I realized I'm not going back to that motherfucker.
What are you at now? What's your number? What's the most important number right now?
I'm at 820.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm at 780.
Yeah. And it's like,
I just bought a home, so that's why it goes down when you buy a home.
It does.
Yeah.
but I'm,
Yo, that deserves a pound. No, seriously.
Come on, bro.
My shit was on. You know that 7-year like probationary where like when you fuck your credit up, you can't get a cell phone for 7 years.
If you don't take care of it, even if it's 7 years, you cannot maybe like let something kind of go. A collection can reinvent itself, do you know what I mean, through a different thing and then extend it longer. I had to learn all that shit, and now it's not going to happen again. I mean, bro, come on, dog. I done had fucking like 6 different Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, Lamborghinis in the last like 5 or 6 years, and that was helping a lot too. And then people are like, all right, listen, it's got a $500,000 loan for this, this, and this. And people are like, yo, why are you taking loans? You should just buy it yourself, because I'm using that money to fucking leverage against something else.
Yeah.
When I could just boom, do this.
I still have PTSD, bro. Like whenever the credit card company says like, oh, we want to give you like a higher limit.
Right.
I get a little bit scared. So I feel like they're trying to trick me.
You know what's crazy? I didn't know this until recently. I talk to Chase Bank weekly. All right. Remember, unsecured credit line. And I'm talking about Amex. I've spent $250,000, $300,000 in a month on Amex before. You know, you can have a platinum card, but realistically, if you spend money, they're just gonna let it go through because they know they gotta be paid in 1 month.
Yeah.
Now Amex Platinum, as of like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, they had this weird thing where they'll let like 30,000 revolve, kind of.
Yeah,
You know what
I know.
Like this weird thing. And I was like, nah, fuck all that
I don't
shit.
want that shit. No,
I just pay it off.
I want to pay it off.
So Chase gave me a card, and I started like I had like 3 different Chase cards, and I consolidated them, and it was weird. Today, right now, I have $125,000 unsecured line on a Visa card. I've spoke to over 300 Chase agents, and they've all said, "Hey, I know this is against the rules. I shouldn't speak about anything private, even though it's regarding you and me, and we have a disclosure. And I'm being on a recorded line. I've never even seen a line over 65 or 70 through Chase Bank. How did you?" And I was like, I don't know. And that's another thing too, where like, you know, when I fucked up my credit, I remember I got a credit card, a Target card, HSBC Bank, and they gave me a credit card for $5,000. I was like, Jesus Christ! Finally, I was making payments, you know, blah blah, whatever. I ran $3,600 on it. I was going to pay the card off, and I did, because my other credit agencies were reporting fucked up.
Yeah.
They lowered my credit limit to $1,500, and I was like, bro, what am I gonna do with $1,500? I can't even buy a plane ticket with this shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like, guys, listen, man, don't fuck your credit up, man, no matter what.
I remember the times where like every phone call to my home was literally a collector.
Fuck, I can't.
Do you remember that?
Bro? You don't understand. I got scared because I didn't know what that was before. You know, they're very aggressive, right?
I know.
I wish a credit card company or a collection. I was like, what? By the way, funny story. I had a $118 gas bill that I didn't pay, and it popped up when I was buying a home, and I'm buying a $4 million house, and they're like, yo, you can't get the loan because of this. And I was like, listen, bro. And then there's people who fix credit, this and that, and my buyer's like, listen, my financial advisor's like, Ben, this is an easy fix. You're going to even pay whatever over anything, but they have to produce a letter saying that they're going to delete it from all 3 bureaus, boom, blah, blah, whatever. So I get in an argument with this dude. We start talking. I make up a story, whatever it may be. And the guy's like, listen, don't lie to me. It's kind of, even though Ben Yang is like not known out there as much, people definitely know it much more now, right?
Yeah.
If you Google my name 10 years ago, Ben Yang, that's going to pull up. You Google it now, I'm going to pull up in like 15 fucking pages straight, right? So I guess the dude was local. He knew who I was. We started arguing. This is a true story, dude. And this is like, you know, I've owned 3 homes. This is a real true story. And I call him and he's like, listen, man, I know that you have this address, blah, blah, whatever. And I was just telling him, I was like, no, bro, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to pay it, you know, blah, blah. I just didn't want to admit the fact that I had a fucking lingering gas bill for 100, whatever. And the guy started arguing with me. He goes, hey, listen, man, don't fuck with me. And he was getting on his collection agency like vibe. And I was like, what? And I was like, hey, homeboy, you know me? Do you really know me? Do you know where my store is for fucking 10 years, homie? Do you know where the fuck the Slauson is? Do you know what my life is like? And I was like, check this out, dog. Fuck all the bullshit. You at 11684 Calabasas, blah, blah. Listen, dude, you're a 40-minute drive from me. I'm going to drive over there, and you talk to me the way you talk to me on the phone right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, on my kid's life, anybody who knows me knows I don't fuck around when it comes to my kids. All right. If I say 10 plus 10 equals 66 on my kids, it equals 66. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I decided, I hung up the phone. I started driving to that place. I was going to pull out my pistol and go to jail. I was so upset at that point over some stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
The dude calls me back while I'm on the thing and he goes, hey man, listen, you need to fucking calm down. I was like, bro, again, now you just making it even worse. And he's like, listen, man, let's just take care of this. Let's just not. I was gonna fuck this dude's life up. No, I'm being serious, Jeff.
Over
Listen,
this bill.
I was gonna break this. The whole office was gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
I was gonna be on the news, trending 24. Fucking, I was gonna go crazy over this stupid thing. But it's because all that was built up from me fucking my credit up in college, after college, and then fucking it up as an adult and realizing how much pain I was still carrying from being embarrassed of them calling like, hey, listen, you better pay this bill.
Yeah.
You know, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then now I realize these guys, like, you could have an $8,000 bill and they'll be like, listen, we'll settle for $1,000 because the fucking collection agency bought it for like $600. They just want to make any kind of, they're just they're buying it pennies on the dollar.
Kids today, man, you're way too involved in the follow count, what your interaction is, how many likes you get. Like,
that shit's
nobody
stupid,
knows their fucking credit score. That's the fucking number. You see me and Ben here, we know our credit score on the
I'm
top
fucking
of our
heavy.
head.
Yeah, I'm heavy
It's
on
no
it.
joke.
I'm telling you right
And
now.
the thing about the credit people is, like you said, when you owe them, they are enemy number one. They will come down on you
Oh,
like
man, bro.
SWAT. But when you're good,
Yeah.
oh man, then it's like, yo, you need another 100,000.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
best friends. Like,
you know, I took a credit line out just to have it,
Mm-hmm.
and people were like, "Oh, I was dangerous." I was like, "Nah," because I didn't have a drug addiction. You know what I mean? When it comes to like the credit, it's just I was stupid and I was uninformed, and I just
Yeah,
didn't have
me
the
too.
information. And now I obviously know what I can use it for and certain things, and what I can, you know.
you know the balance rollover? Like where one card says, oh, we'll take the balance
Yeah,
of
yeah.
your card.
I never did that. I knew.
I did that all the time. I got so hoodwinked.
No, I knew immediately that was it.
Because then
I knew, like,
I would
yeah.
put it all in the other card, and then
Yeah,
I'd
no.
re-max out the first card.
Yeah, no.
That's how I got. That's how I
knew
started
that
Staple anyway.
I knew that. You're fucking crazy. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
So, do you think a sneaker store today? I know I had this conversation with Eddie Cruz when he started Undefeated, and he told me, he's like, "Hey, bro, you can't just survive on Nike alone. We have to try to change it." And that's when he was like the first shop that was cool, that had like Asics, whatever, Adidas, Puma. He was really trying to push. That's why he's doing collabs with other people. And it was like, it wasn't until him a little bit, but Ronnie, like Ronnie made it like,
sure,
all right,
yeah.
let's fucking change this. We can't like, boom. Could a sneaker store today survive without having a Nike account?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Let me
man.
tell you, there's 3 types of stores in my mind because I'm still involved in retail heavy. I don't. After I shut down Reed Space, I was involved with Extra Butter for a couple of years, which is a tier 0 Nike retailer, Adidas consortium, and now Hypebeast they have an online store called HBX.
Yeah, of course I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're opening a brick and mortar store in New York.
Holy
and I'm
shit.
involved in that now. So
Holy
there's 3 types of sneaker stores in the world. One is the mom and pop sneaker shop that doesn't give a fuck. They just carry whatever. New Balance, Uggs, like Mephistos, whatever the fuck, right?
Fucking
Floor
Doc
Shine.
Martens.
Yeah, Doc
Yeah.
Martens. Yeah, there's that. The second type is when they start to learn, they try to get elevated distribution. So they try to get Quick Strike, Elite 11. Then they go tier 0. Then they try to get, Statement, Adidas, Consortium. And then, you play that game. A lot of those stores live and die by the tier 0. So when a Virgil drops or a Sakai drops, they'll make rent for like the next 6 months. But they're like on the needle. They're like, yo, Nike, when is the next tier 0 drop?
Shit.
Yeezys, we can't just get 100 pairs. We got to get 400 pairs, So
Yeah.
their whole lifeline depends on that. Then there's a third type of retailer, which is really pushing the envelope. To me, the number one retailer in the world is Dover Street Market. Like, that is just the experimental. Dover Street Market actually got offered Yeezys to launch, and they're like, no, we don't want them.
Wow, really?
That's like turning down $1 million.
Yeah, that's
legit.
crazy.
But they're like, that's not for us. So when you're at that level of retail where you're making the statement, you're not allowing other people to make statements on you. You are making the statement.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah. So shout out
I'm
to
like- I'm
Ray,
like-
Ray Calcubo, Comme des Garçons.
I'm so fucking just like, wow, dude. Because I just bought a pair of Vans, and I was in Tokyo 2 weeks ago, and I bought a pair of Vans in Dover Street. And I always forget. How about this? I've been to Dover Street in Tokyo and Ginza at least 8 times, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even more. How often have you been to that Ginza store, to DSM?
A dozen times at least.
Okay, a dozen, right. Tell me, please, I'm not the only one. Tell me you forget that they actually have a fucking Supreme account.
Yeah. They have a Supreme store.
Don't you forget that? Like, have you ever forgot about it? Be like,
No,
what the
I don't forget. I study. You
Oh,
gotta
that's
look
true.
up.
It's
You gotta
different,
look
your
up
business.
Adrian Jaffe. If you ever get Adrian Jaffe on the show, he is the true G. I'm talking Comme des Garçons, Dover Street Market, Play, the fucking heart.
Right.
He owns Play, Gosha,
Right.
Junior Watanabe.
Yeah.
Sakai came out of Comme des Garçons. White Mountaineering came out of Comme des Garçons. Like, this
When I
dude is
talked
the
to when I talked to
mastermind.
KP and I talked to a lot of people, like KP is actually so ahead of shit. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, he's telling me about Capital Denim, and I'm like, this old patch denim weirdo fucking. This looks like some Native American crazy shit. Like, you tripping?
It's like some old Visbim.
Next thing I know is
It's the hot shit.
ASAP Rocky. He's always ahead of shit. He's like, yo, bro, I need to go. These are Capital. He's like, what you know about this? And a lot of times, I really will shock ASAP when we talk, and he'll be like, bro, man, I don't know what to say with you, man. You're so fucking weird. You're so, like, you just know a lot of shit about hood shit, this, and this. And it actually, I think he'll, like, sometimes ASAP will say weird shit like, yo, man, you smell different. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? And he goes, your laundry smell clean. And I'm like, wow. I start getting self-conscious. I'm like, damn, man, I hope I didn't fucking eat onions or something. I'm like, we're in a car driving for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he's like, who does your laundry? I'm like, well, I have a living nanny. I have help. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, but it wouldn't matter. I do it. He's like, no, I can just tell. He's like, you well taken care of. I can tell because I deal with people every day more than you do probably, Ben. And he's like, I can tell that you have people doing your shit. You could just tell. No, he really was like, he observed that.
observant. Yeah,
he was observing. I'm like, yo, man, you can tell that your clothes are done. You know, he's like, I can tell that you ain't got, not necessarily that I have a struggle, but, you know, I understood what he was getting at. And I was like, shit, man, that's crazy.
I'll never forgive Rocky because he bumped me out of first class.
Wow.
I had a business class flight to LA. I got upgraded to first. I'm so stoked, right? I'm like, oh, this is dope. I got upgraded to first class. The doors close on the airplane, and this never happens. The jetway pulls back. I'm like, okay, I'm good, right? All of a sudden, jetway comes back. Doors about to be reopening, and the flight attendant's like, I'm really sorry, Mr. Ring. Like, we have to put you back in the business class. There was a mistake. I was like, how is there a mistake? The door is closed. Isn't there like an FCC, FAA rule where like once a door closes, done? Coming on the plane. ASAP Rocky taking my fucking seat.
Does he know this story or no?
He probably doesn't know.
That's fucking funny. I'm gonna tell him or whatever. He's like, he don't have the patience to listen to this shit. Are there any haters in your business space like you could think of? Like I know I always think about people have haters and stuff, right? You're such a I can't imagine, like, why would you hate Jeff? Like, but are there other haters like in, you know, like not Junior or whatever, but I'm saying like that like whole space. Like
there's haters for sure. I mean, you did the best thing ever, whereas on Hypebeast, you replied to the comments.
Oh, yeah.
That was the rebuttal. That's what it was called, the rebuttal.
I didn't think it would be a big deal. And like,
that was dope.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
So there are, okay.
Yeah, there are.
Because you're always so PC, dude. You really are.
I try to be, and I try to lay low. And it's funny when you even asked me, like, when I made my first million, I was uncomfortable answering that question.
Yeah, I know you were, you fucker.
I mean, look at me. I'm like a dirtbag. Like, no, I don't want to exhibit that I've...
No, you're an amazing dude. Even like the fact that, you know, I hit up fucking... Dude, my friend is probably the biggest model in the world. And she's the face of Omega. Like, for me to hit her up, and she's like, oh, man, don't even worry about it, right?
You're going to tell this story? Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, it's like, it's fucking Kaya Gerber, you know what I'm saying?
Kaya Gerber,
Dude, fucking mom is Cindy Crawford, you know? And not only that, she did like a family campaign where like her brother, her mom are in the same picture, boom. And then my boy, Apollo Ono, skater, Olympic skater.
He's Omega too, right?
He had Omega too. And so like, I hit him up and they're like, yeah, no big deal. And then when they asked, they're like, hey, man, this ain't some like...
Okay, so let's back up this story a little bit, right? I wanted an Omega Speedmaster watch, right? That it was a special Snoopy astronaut edition, which is like...
The astronaut one was, that's what she said. It was just...
impossible.
She couldn't get it, bro.
So, of course, I can't get it. I'm trying to get it. So I hit up Ben, and I'm like, yo, can you hook me up with this watch? And you're like, yo, I know the spokespeople, the top 2 spokespeople for Omega. I could do this. And I think it just says a lot that the fact that I'm asking for a watch that even like those people can't get means I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, bro, because... Well, it had to be rare. And then what happened was, how long ago did it come out?
Probably like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. So what happened was the initial allotment that went out for sale for whatever, the rare amount of the limited edition that went out, that been gone.
Yeah.
Then the reserve, it's been years. So it's like, then the reserve.
They tapped out too.
They saved out for like maybe any other weirdo VIP that was like you.
Yeah.
So there was like maybe one archive, and I think they couldn't let it go and whatever. And then they were like, how serious is it? And I said, it's not that serious. Because I don't want to like, dude, I can't imagine. I would fucking owe her like $1 million. And to them, she's so young. She just turned 18, bro. Like, I'm going to owe her like fucking 15 grills and all kinds of shit. I'm like, nah, dude, it ain't that deep, bro.
I love this shit. The behind the scenes stories on how people get fucking watches.
No, I'm saying, what do you think the climate of the sneaker game is right now? Like, you think it's at a good place? You think like...
Yeah, I think it's dope. I mean, it's the best time for a sneakerhead to be alive right now. Like,
you know,
something for everybody.
I tell people I became a millionaire off selling my sneaker collection, and that's true. I never thought it would be where it is now.
Yeah.
Did you ever think it'd be where this is right now with like
for the last
StockX?
5 years, I keep saying the sneaker market's gonna blow. Like the bubble's gonna pop.
Jesus.
But now I'm just like, you know what? It's never gonna pop. There's just so many people on planet Earth. And you know what? Shout out to Skechers, because Skechers is like the 3rd biggest sneaker brand in the world, right? And you got to think that if Skechers is number 3, everyone who owns a Skechers right now and only buys Skechers, they don't read Hypebeast. They don't know about Virgil Abloh, and they don't know about Sakai. Those are all potential customers of Adi and Nike.
That's crazy.
So if you think one day in the future, if you think everyone who owns a Skechers right now could be up on StockX.
Because they have like the fucking light up shoes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a lot of customers. And you travel a lot. You go to airports, you go to, you know, lounges and shit. Isn't everyone in business class and first class rocking Yeezys, Off-White, Rimowa luggage?
Yeah.
Every single.
Damn, I just
It's
feel
like
so bad to have Ramoa and like, fuck, man.
it's not even like
I won't wear Yeezys anymore. No offense to Matt George and to Kanye and all them and then my boys and everything, but it's really hard for me to wear a pair of Yeezys.
I agree.
When Rocky just got out of jail,
Mm-hmm.
he was wearing Yeezys that didn't even come out for like another year or so, like early prototypes. And I understood, of all people, he's like the guy that's gonna have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't mind him being that dude. And sometimes, fuck, I don't give a fuck. Rocky gave me some throwaways. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some shit like, oh, you want this shirt? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm taking it all. Like, you know, like I have no shame in anything. But
It's crazy now.
it's different if it's a year in advance or even 3-4 months in advance. I just can't be. I don't know. I just. And don't get me wrong, man. What he's done is amazing, and the shoes are comfortable. But it's like, fuck, every single fucking fob, every like random middle grade celebrity in Korea.
Only you could say every fucking fob.
Yeah, and all the Filipino people, they're all rocking Yeezys and
All the Chinese billionaires,
Asia.
yeah.
I can't do it, dog.
Yeah.
But like with apps and like GOAT, StockX and
StockX,
stuff,
yeah.
we're being worth billions of dollars. Like when you
crazy.
heard Flight Club got bought for $60 million, did you not think like, bro? I remember when I used to fucking give, like I used to buy fried rice for fucking Domaney, you know what I mean? And like
Vintage kit, yeah.
Like, what do you think about that?
It's amazing. It's just amazing where we're at. LVMH and, Farfetch, they're investing in. Foot Locker bought into GOAT now.
Yeah, I just saw that. That is just fucking crazy.
Let me tell you the crazy GOAT story.
Oh shit! Here
So
we
I was
go.
like, I know some people at GOAT, right? And I was like, yo, what is this Foot Locker deal? Like, you're losing your independence. Like, Foot Locker's like, quote unquote, the man in this industry, and you're letting them buy into GOAT. And they're like, I'm not gonna say who, but they're like, you know what? We're actually letting them in so that we can learn their systems because we're actually going to buy Foot Locker back in the future. That's our vision.
Holy
Can
shit.
you believe that? Like, that's
I
how
hope-
gangster they are.
I hope this doesn't get anybody in trouble in this thing. Are you a sports fan at
Hypothetically.
all?
No, not really. I don't have time for it.
You're a fucking asshole. I hate people like you. You know what's funny is Tyler, the creator, I would say shit, and he has a private page on Twitter, and it's the most amazing private page ever. And like, I'd be like, yo, listen, I can't fuck with nobody who don't like sports. And then he immediately be like, I don't know shit about sports. You know,
I'll tell you where my sports dropped off. I was a big Bad Boy Piston fan. Okay, Barry Sanders, Cecil Field, like that whole Detroit era.
Enormous fucking Barry Sanders fan. I was.
Yeah, but after that, I just can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to. I feel like as a man, oh shit, look at Wale's on TV. That's fucking amazing. That's my boy. Wale, oh shit. Any other hobbies you have?
Work, man. I just work.
I knew it, you fucking jerk. You're fucking. Favorite place to eat in New York City?
I'm not giving it up on the air. They always get ruined when I do that.
Yeah, you a good dude.
You guys can just keep going to Nobu.
Bro, no offense, man. I you know, it's crazy. I haven't met Mr. Matsuhisa, right? Bro, the food is just so, dude. It's not McDonald's. But it's gotten to like, it's PF Chang's a sushi now, dog. And people think it's such a big deal. I'm like, yo, bro. And even Jiro, like, I went to Jiro, like, no, bro, there's real crazy spots. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Nozawa before it became Sugarfish?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Could you imagine people, like, we had that.
I know.
And it just like,
Yeah.
the real sushi Nazi, the real actual, wouldn't let you sit for the, omakase. Like, I can't believe
I know.
we fucked that up. And he just got tired, I'm sure. Like, he was one of the biggest fishermen there is, and he just got tired. He says, fuck this, I'm gonna make this fucking.
Nobu's good. I can't, it's just.
It's all right,
It's
dude.
just the thing. It's good. Like, okay, so here's the story.
It's a 7-8 strong.
Recently, I dropped the Nike Panda Pigeons on Network app, and it totally destroyed the app, right? Like,
Bro, I was there.
Okay,
I helped you do launch,
Yes,
yeah.
for people who don't know,
Yeah.
Aaron felt so bad about it that he sent me a ridiculous Nobu gift card after that, right? So because he felt really bad.
Right.
So I take me and my whole team out to Nobu. I hadn't been there like in 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
foodies, no offense, don't really go to Nobu.
Yeah.
Right. But there's another whole contingency of people that really love bragging about going to Nobu. So I get like that it's actually good food. You just don't have to brag about going to Nobu. I don't
Right.
get it.
I don't know. It's weird. Again, then but the thing is, at the same time, I'll go eat at a fucking, like, I'll go eat at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a weird thing about that.
IHOP's the shit. Like, I love, like, getting
But
grimy with it.
it's just weird. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a little Cuban spot down here. I get empanadas at,
Yeah.
and I'll get like some fucking, some iron beer and some like, but there's a Dominican spot in fucking in Dykeman. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm cool. And the funny thing is, not to put Aaron on blast, I just dropped this gold money counter, right?
Yes, you did.
And it sold out in 8 seconds.
I'm really sad I didn't get one.
And I'm so sorry, dude. So listen,
I understand I'm not the demo.
Listen, I will say this.
I never held a money stack in my ear.
I won't say it again. This is exclusive. I will only say this to the people that are listening to this episode. I am going to drop them again now.
Okay.
Because it went too fast. And I fucked up the app as well. But the funny thing is, Aaron sent me a fucking Noble gift card. So fucking funny. It took me forever to use it. And then finally I had some relatives from Germany come in.
We are blowing up Aaron's spot right now.
That's my dog. I love
Me
that
too.
dude.
I love that guy so much.
What's your favorite place to vacation in?
Pure vacation, I got to say, is actually Barcelona. You mentioned it earlier. Me and my wife love Barcelona, but Tokyo is really our second home. It's beautiful there. It's just hard to unplug out of Tokyo because there's so much going on there.
Yeah.
So it always becomes a little bit of work too.
If Tokyo, I can get in a weird mood. I don't know what it is because I was going to Tokyo before Lost in Translation. That movie, I know it's so fucking typical and so cool, but it really
great.
did change my fucking life, my vision. There's no way I can't go to the Park Hyatt. It's impossible. Do you know what I mean? And why I'm even loyal to the Hyatt brand and stuff. And going there, going through Harajuku, it's even like, dude, I'm doing a collaboration with Murakami. Can you imagine how far I felt like when me and him were in together in Nakano? I've been to Tokyo 30 times. I've never been in Nakano before.
Yeah.
It was like a weird like swap meet flea market experience. I was like, bro, you opened your fucking store here?
Right.
Like, going to Nakano.
It's incredible, his
it's
store.
Insane.
Yeah.
Going through there. Gifts me ridiculous $1,000, $2,000 gifts here and there. So generous. I'm telling him thank you. He's like, stop saying thank you, Ben. Thank you for coming to Tokyo for the photo shoot. It makes it more authentic, what we're doing. There's some beef with Koreans and Japanese too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all you motherfuckers need to stop with this shit, bro. Like, this is what's going to stop people from being bigger.
Great, yeah.
And we're shooting in Harajuku. And I'm thinking he's going to shut the mall down. He's big enough, right? Boom. And he's like, motherfucker, it's Sunday. We ain't shutting shit down. He's just doing a guerrilla. And I was like, wow, dog, you're a gangster. Go see Futura. Walking through Shibuya, it's just something that fucks me up internally when I'm walking through Shibuya Crossing and everything. And people are like,
best
yo,
feeling.
this just like, this ain't, and it's like, some of my boys say, hey, listen, man, if you lived here for 6 months, you'd feel different. And I'm like, you know what, cool. But until then, which may never happen,
Right.
I have the nostalgic feeling every time I walk through Ginza, certain things. The fact that the typhoons ran through there, motherfuckers are waiting in line for 3 hours for toilet paper, not complain about shit.
Yep.
People are clean in Japan. You ain't got to worry
perfection.
about, do I could wear $1 million watch? No one's even thinking about robbing me in Japan. It's not like that over there,
I want to move there with my girl. She's half Japanese, so I plan on retiring.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You know what? Another thing too is you mentioned this on actually no, we talked about this off the podcast, but like, why didn't you guys want kids? It was just something. Is that too personal? I don't know. Is it?
No, it's not too personal. I just don't want to add human life forms to this world. This world is such shit that like,
damn,
man. More. And I recently, I got to say, I saw that video that you posted of your kid saying like, I want daddy. And that shit, I don't know how that made you feel because that even tugged at my fucking heartstrings.
Do you know something funny? That happened like the day I left for New York.
I don't know how you got on a plane when you see that video. Like,
here's the crazy part. I've watched that video, like realistically watched it maybe 100 times. I'm not saying that in exaggeration. I'm talking about an actual, literal 100 times.
I watched it like 12 times.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Me and my first son, we went through it because he had some health issues. My second son, he was the baby of the family. We have a special relationship. And then the daughter finally came after we tried. If we had we might not have had a third kid if we had, the daughter the second time. And so like now it's like my oldest son is 7.5 and then my baby is just 2, but she's like it's a girl. So it hit me soft and I feel crazy about it now, touching my heart. And tomorrow I get on my 86th flight of this year. 86 motherfucker, right? Back. This is like, yo, I'm in LA. So I was gonna stay till Friday, right? Because I have some shit going on. I can't. Because as soon as I land, I have a kids party to go to on Saturday. I have one day to relax on Friday. Well, not really, but Sunday morning I'm out again. I'm out to Seattle. So it's like,
yeah, man. So, but I can't bring myself to bring someone into this crazy fucked up world.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know, man. Next question. Were you ever on Nike Talk? Did you ever have a username?
Nope.
But you knew about it, I guess.
I knew about it, yeah. I felt like, because I was working with Nike and putting shoes out, I felt like if I was on Nike Talk, it might get me in trouble with actual Nike Inc.
When I was working with Nike, it was the same thing, and it was weird.
Yeah, they
and
didn't
that's
like
what
you
kind
on
of
that
fucked
shit.
up everything. And I knew going in. I was like, listen, man, it's like, I know it sounds crazy. Yesterday, my boy was like, oh, man, that chick is dope. And I was like, She's a cop, bro. And he's an ex-convict, you know what I mean? And he's like, man, fuck that, I'll smash her down. I'm like, bro, just the fact that you playing with fire, do you know what I mean? She knows, let's just say you guys fall in love. She can't, she'd be like, oh, this dude's doing, I mean, not that he does it now, but you know what I mean? Like, you just be like, what if you want to go back to doing criminal activity or something? It's like, bro, it's like a weird thing. Not saying that it was, but it felt like that taboo.
Yeah.
To like be involved in Nike talk. And then they were like, hey, boom. Then there was certain language and how it just got too weird for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember one time I had a blog back in the day, and I wrote about how
I remember
I didn't like Nike ID, and I was like working with Nike at the time. I get a call from Fraser Cook, and he's like, can you take that post down? I'm like, I didn't even talk shit. I just said, like, I personally don't like it. He's like, no, risk assessment is like not into that.
Bro, I fucking put, when we had the Blue House, I said, we're having a party here, blah, blah, whatever. They sent me this crazy ass thing. We don't have parties at Nike. We have events. And then I remember the next week, I walked into the office in Marina Del Rey, and I was wearing a fucking polo. And they're like, yeah, Ben, we make polos. So that's technically a competition. And I was like, bro, man, enough is enough. When I finally blew up and said, fuck Nike on my site, I remember how bad it was. They were telling counts. They were telling my boy who owned a store in Fred Siegel, hey man, Ben's not allowing your store. If he owns part of your store, we're going to pull your Nike account. They were doing all that kind of shit.
Oh, you were enemy.
Listen,
you were enemy.
The crazy thing is they told Eddie. They told Eddie Cruz, like, hey, listen, this is a problem, boom. And even Eddie was like, all right, damn, and he was big. He's like, listen, man, I don't want to cause any trouble, boom. And I was like, I get it. Today, now, I'm not saying whatever. I'm not saying I'm fucking, Mike Tyson or whatever it may be, or I'm fucking Vladimir Putin, but they can't do shit to tell me anything, whatever. I don't give a fuck if they bought 15 of my stores or anything. I'm always going to find a way to make money, period. And that's my life.
Yeah.
So I will, if I want to wear Nikes and I don't like them, fuck them, whatever. If it's hypocritical, I'll go to Riff. I'll go to fucking somewhere. Any reseller is going to sell me a shoe I want if I wanted it.
Exactly.
So it's not like they can do anything. I have nothing against them. I'm just saying, like, they got to
don't
chill.
hold you anymore.
They got to chill, dog. They got to chill. When did you first hear me? I'm just curious.
Actually, from the DJ era.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was cool with AM. He used to go to Reed Space all the time too.
Yeah.
And I remember he tried to get a pair of pigeons. I think he had a pair of pigeons actually.
He did. He got them from Dom.
Yeah. So I knew about you from back then.
That's funny. I posted a picture of his pigeons before.
Oh, okay.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me something that nobody knows about you. You've already said a lot of crazy shit though. So.
It's crazy. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't know a lot about me. I think I try to keep it pretty down low and secret,
Mr. fucking Genghis Khan, fucking mysterious man, right?
Okay, here's one. I carry in my left pocket 365 days a year. Every day, doesn't matter. Chapstick.
Jesus Christ, you fucking weirdo.
My lips got to be moist, 365.
Listen, man, this has been fucking really beyond more. Listen, and don't take this the wrong way. I love doing this podcast. At the same time, right before any guest, whether it be huge, small, medium, whatever, you're a heavy hitter in the streetwear game, of course, and more in the sneaker world. I just, one, it being fucking, 7:44 a.m. right now in LA, but starting at 6, it's just like my brain is just really a little bit out of it, even though I was in Tokyo, DC, bro, I've been on so many different flights in the last just 10 days.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. The fact that Jordan and Miles, my producers, had some questions and I didn't go through whatever, so I had to come up with all my shit. We still got an hour and 10 plus of content, which is fucking amazing.
It's dope.
I'm so excited about this, right? And I'm just so honored that you went on this show. I'm glad that you even were interested because I didn't even ask. It was like, yo, bro, let's just jump in. And I said, listen, this has to happen.
Yeah.
And like, because Ronnie had to go to Germany last minute. It had nothing to do with you at all. We would have still did it because I have meetings to do today.
We were talking last week, yeah.
How I end every episode with my podcast with the guest is I ask them, is there anything you'd like to ask me? That's the last question always.
I have something that I want to tell you that out of all the fucking bullshit that you say and the advice that you give and all the shit that you talk about, I want to tell you the one thing that is the biggest jewel that every man, particularly man in this world needs to know. You once said, fellas, if you have $10,000 and if your wife has $5,000, your total household income is not $15,000. It is $10,000.
Yeah.
That shit is jewels.
Yeah.
Dudes need to recognize, and I have friends that are married and they don't understand. They're like, I don't get it. Like, she brought in $10K. I don't understand why she asked me for the money. I'm like, because that's not the household money. Listen to Ben. That was Jules. I don't know. Something must have happened in your household for you to say that, because you said it on Instagram stories, I think.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I took a screenshot. I was like,
it fucked me up because even recently, right? My wife is like, hey, listen, did you really buy 2 Ferraris in 1 week? And I'm like, babe, one was like one car got traded in, and the other one I had to get like, and she's like, no, I'm not trying. And it was crazy. She's like, hey, listen, how come I can't go and do? I was like, no one said you couldn't. But I'm asking you, like, but the thing is, I know how to flip cars and make 50 to 100 grand, whatever, blah,
Right.
blah. And I was explaining to her, but she, every so often, she's not really, my wife is really unproblematic. You know, if anything, she wants more of my time than anything, which is,
Yeah.
understandable. But, you start to realize when you do taxes and you do, you and your wife are combined, whatever, and you're like, all right, dog, it's not fucking, it's not 5,000, 15,000,
No.
it's fucking 10. It's
yeah,
you know,
you really can't touch what she has. That's her shit.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I can't put a job. It don't matter. She hates the fact that I tell people that we have a nanny. Listen, bro, when you have 2 kids, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
When you have 3, you remember you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
And it's a different level of what's going on. Plus, they're all young. So, it ain't like the nanny sits there and fucking, raises our kids. And that's not it at all. Not even 5% true.
Right.
All right. They prepare all the lunches in the morning for school, stuff like that. They tidy up certain things here and there. They do things like, the laundry, whatever. But other than that, my wife really does put insane amount. I have in-laws. It's amazing. There's always someone at my house, which I never liked that before. Now it's a trip. And people think like sometimes like, oh man, you're going to a hotel to fucking get away. Not really, man. I have to make sure that it makes sense for me to go spend, $5,000 on a air travel and hotel, whatever. I got to be somewhere where it's going to make sense. It's going to translate into dollars somehow later, or translate into some kind of knowledge to me that's going to better me in future, in the future, and some forward progress.
But in this age of like, women's rights, feminism, and like, the Me Too thing, that's like that jewel that you dropped was actually, some would argue that it's like sort of medieval and ass backwards, but it's not.
Dude, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's some forever male female shit.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's all love. And you know what? You have a happy home.
You will have a happy home if you listen to Ben's advice there.
Yo, man, Jeff Staple, thank you so motherfucking much.
Yeah, man, this was
really
dope.
appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro. In New York City, yo, listen, man. Miles, man, Jordan, can you throw on some Lakey Lake and let's get out of here for a second. Listen, guys, man, this podcast is a totally different type of thing. I do what I want, and I speak about a lot of things from business here and there. And one thing I want to say after you hearing my stories about Jonas and this interview with Jeff Staples, it don't matter what dominates the game, whether it be white people, whether it be black people, whatever it was. I never looked at that. I never looked at anybody's color, at their color, skin, or anything. I went into the game knowing that if this is what I want to do, okay, I'm going to be the best at it, or I'm going to attempt to be the best at it, and I'm going to go as hard as I can, and I'm going to fuck shit up. Jonas and Jeff, 2 total opposite sides of the spectrum, both crushed it. Jeff is still killing it, and it's Asian excellence, and it's Asian rush, and Asian empowerment, and I want my people out there with the yellow skin color to know that it don't motherfucking matter where the fuck you came from. I don't know where Jeff exactly came from, but I know Jonas came from no money. I didn't come from shit. And we still rise to the top. You know what I'm saying? We turn motherfucking tragedy into triumph. And I just want you guys to know this is a business podcast. And it's to serve motivation for the people out there, no matter what the fucking color you are. Anyone who's the underdog. Anyone who was told no. Anyone who was said they weren't shit, gonna be shit or anything. Fuck everyone. Do you. What do I always say? It wouldn't be my show without saying this. This is not your practice life. All right, y'all. God bless. I'll see you guys on the next episode. We out.